95 degrees in the Orange Bowl here today. The Miami Hurricanes hope to use the heat and humidity to their advantage. Good afternoon, everybody. With Gary Danielson, I'm Brent Musburger. Let's talk about this Miami team. We saw them lose to Florida State. They bounced back in triple overtime against Clemson. Are they on the right track?
I think they are, Brent. They survived with the running game in those two tough places to play on the road. But now they got 5 out of 6 at home. They've got to hone that passing game. When Miami plays well, they throw and pass the ball.
They have been very tough to deal with in their home opener. 7 consecutive games here in the Orange Bowl. So now the question is, Gary, can Colorado come in here and deal with the Cane talent and the heat and humidity?
Oh, yeah, I think they can, Brent. They've got 20 seniors on this football team. They've been in a lot of tough venues. Senior quarterback, great kicker, and their coach, Gary Barnett. 2 weeks to prepare. Got a lot of experience in knocking off teams as an underdog at Northwestern.
Gary, these two schools signed a home and home. That was 12 years ago. It's about time they got together again. Jack Arute will have that story in a moment.
Brent Musburger told you this 2-game contract started at home at Folsom Field 12 years ago. Tomorrow. Why is it taking so long? Well, there was some bad blood back then. In fact, there was a game bench-clearing brawl that forced 12 ejections from players on both sides of the team. Shouldn't come into play here today, guys, because the players that'll line up today, their average age back then, just 7 years old. But what will come into play, you talked about the temperature, both teams have got some techniques they're going to use to address it.
All right, Jack, we'll cover that story with you. Colorado won the flip, and they have elected to defer. Speaking of that game back in Boulder, that fight occurred just before the halftime intermission. Ray Lewis made his first start ever for the Hurricanes and recorded 14 tackles. And Cordell Stewart almost pulled off a huge rally, but a very controversial foul against one of the offensive linemen of Colorado set back their final drive. There's Devin Hester, number 4, the ever-dangerous one. Centerus Moss is back, and here comes the story. Number 16, Mason Crosby. Where will he hammer this one? Very high and into the end zone. And Moss is coming out, 15. Ridden down way shy of the 20-yard line. There's the key to having Mason Crosby. That kickoff to the end zone. All right, Gary, here is Kyle Wright. Let's talk about his progress.
Well, Brent, we know he's got great talent. There's no doubt about that. He's got the perfect frame, great arm. He has to get the timing of these football games a little quicker. Once he understands how to get into the flow of the game, they might make no stopping this guy.
The kind of game that Gary Barnett in Colorado wants. Field position, just like this. Have their 2 splendid kickers back them up whenever they can. Don't make any mistakes on offense. Very basic. The skill players at Miami, they've got to keep them under control. Wright is hit. Incomplete. And immediately that offensive line that has leaked 14 sacks allows Dyson, Jordan Dyson, the sophomore will linebacker, to blitz him.
Coming right up the gut on this one this time. It was a linebacker blitz, runs right through the block by Moss. Watch this. Moss does an Ole, number 30. Really wasn't the offensive line in that case. It's a team unit, and that time Moss did not do his part of the protection.
Quad Hill, the fullback, he's responsible too. The quick throw is complete to Leggett, and Leggett is to the 23-yard line. Our outback starting lineups, and for the Canes, the skill players, Tyrone Moss has exploded. He was the all-time leading rusher up in Broward County. He's finally starting to mature, his shoulder not injured this year. But the offensive line becomes a work in progress under Coach Art Kehoe. You see, they did not help pick up that blitz, nor did the running back. He fanned on it, but there have been way too many sacks against this group. Eric Winston on the left is the leader. He's out of Midland, Texas. 3rd down and short. Here's Tyrone Moss. You would expect him to get into it. He's had 2 100-yard gains, and he is the lone running back. They'll run, move the pocket, throw high, incomplete, 3 and out, and that's the kind of game that Colorado wants.
Little lack of confidence by Dan Werner, the offensive coordinator for Miami. Because of 14 sacks in the first play, he rolled out on 3rd and short, and Wright did not hit the target.
Now this is going to be the battle of the left-footed punters, folks. This is Brian Monroe, number 39, out of Dwyer High School, just up the coast. Stephon Robinson, who has been slowed by an injury, is back. Gary wants to take a look at him at the 40, and he is down at the 46-yard line, and that's where Joel Klatt and the Colorado offense will put. Now, if you're thinking field position here in the early moments, advantage Buffaloes. But the one thing Gary told us during the walkthrough yesterday, we cannot afford to turn the ball over. They also have had to tinker with their offensive line. They're without perhaps their best lineman, Brian Daniels, and Joel Klatt moves out. And what about the former baseball player?
You know, Brad, let's stay with that theme. He's going to get 2 or 3 shots at hitting a home run, play action passes. He's got to get 2 deep balls.
They leave the fullback in place. Hugh Charles, who's run very well on a toss going away for the fullback. They set the motion the other way, and they burn Randy Shannon's defense. A first down at the 25, the flow to the left, the pitch to the right. 29 yards.
A little taste of odd balance line to Miami. You could see it, more players on this side, unbalanced on your screen to the right. They fake the handoff and pitch back. Miami is confused. Miami ran that unbalanced formation last week, about 25 plays, and Gary Barnett and his coordinator Sean Watson come up with a little taste for them.
After the 29 run, Charles is out. Lawrence Vickers, a bigger back, checks in for the Buffaloes. On a play fake, Klatt on first down, fires complete and out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. And there is Quinsip Newski. Quinsip Newski, Gary, he's been there forever. The 6'7" senior, 18 yards in his 6th year.
And if you look at the timing here, and this is what Joel Klatt does so well. Gets back, gets in rhythm, and throws the ball on target. And that's why Brenny has a great record inside the 20.
And Joel Klatt has been one of the more efficient quarterbacks in the red zone over the last couple years. So Gary Barnett has Colorado on the move inside the 10-yard line. Here's first and goal. Charles back in as the tailback. Charles gets the hand, and the Canes stuff the line of scrimmage for a loss. Baraka Atkins, number 98, led the defensive charge.
That is really the fear of this Colorado football team. When they win and play good football, they run that zone stretch play. Can they handle that Miami defensive line? I suspect we'll see a lot of misdirection from Colorado.
Take a look at Klatt, how efficient he is in the red zone. Only 1 interception, has not taken a sack. He'll throw it away. He's in an obvious throwing situation here. Got time. Fires. Incomplete. And again, he did not risk an interception in the end zone. He threw it high and out of the back of the end zone. Now the Colorado Buffaloes, there's their playmakers, and we put those 2 tight ends in there. Sipnewski, you've already seen. Kloffenstein is the other one. Both very talented. That will keep the Miami safeties honest. When you've got 2 very talented tight ends, Barnett plans to use both of them here today. Now they're coming up, Gary, on a big play call here. 3rd down and goal.
And I think the key here for Colorado is with their kicker, they must not make a mistake. At least come away with 3 points minimum.
Klatt rolls the pocket. The Canes are there underneath. Jumping out of bounds, incomplete. And here the kicker will come onto the field, Mason Crosby.
Yeah, Evan Judge dropped that perfect throw that time. You can see it. They call it a smash route. The receiver comes in, then goes back out, kind of a delayed play. Perfect throw from Klatt. Caught on the play, but it would not have been a touchdown. Basically the same distance for the field goal.
Now, Greg Pace is the snapper. He's a 4-year letterman. He's out of Hinsdale, Illinois. His mother was a great swimmer. Nick Holes, a wide receiver out of De La Salle, that famous high school in California, will put it down. Here's a 28-yarder. And Holes couldn't get it down. It's no good.
It was not a good snap. It was low into the inside. And Larry Coker says, I lost the game with one of those snaps. Low into the inside, nothing was comfortable, and he pushed it wide.
So Crosby may have rushed it. Holes appeared to have had enough time, didn't he? We'll take another look at it. Now Gary Barnett and the Colorado coaching staff were really counting on this kicking game. They misfire with their first field goal attempt. Now Kyle Wright rolling the pocket hard to the left. Couldn't find anybody open. And it looks like they're moving the pocket, Gary, more than they ever did up against Florida State because of the offensive line. As we see the defensive line here for the Buffaloes, this may be the most underrated part of this game, would be the front seven. The three linebackers. Thaddeus Washington out of Louisiana has stepped up. We've already seen Dyson on the one blitz. So this is going to be second down and long. Billingsley and Henderson, major league safeties back there for the Buffaloes. They'll frequently move up into the box. They run Moss, and it is read right away by Washington. So on cue, the junior Mike linebacker sticks his shoulder pads in there and makes the hit.
Let's take a look at what Colorado has to do to win this football game. Coming in here against a good, balanced Miami team, had trouble. They must win the kicking game, and already they've got one dent there. Third down is so important, and explosion plays. Can they keep Miami from them, and can they find a couple deep balls?
Third down and 8 for Kyle Wright and Miami. Puts his tight end on the move. That's Greg Olsen. Under pressure, fires, caught. Olsen can't get a first down. And the Canes are forced to punt again as Tyrone Henderson, the junior, the co-leading tackler along with Billingsley, brings the tight end down. And so a sluggish start for the Miami offense.
You can see the game plan for Mike Hankwitz, defensive coordinator for Colorado. He knows that Miami has had trouble protecting the quarterback, so he's rushing linebackers and safety men to really point it out to him.
Robinson stays in the game. Monroe to punt it again, and this time fair catch is signaled, and he'll let it go out of bounds. So again, the Buffaloes are working with good field position. Not excellent, but it's better than Miami's had so far. Miami Beach on a sultry early Saturday afternoon. Colorado arrived yesterday afternoon, had a walk-through practice, and using Vickers again in this game as a running back, as they did. And now they send Charles out. Vickers is the fullback in this situation. Fired incomplete on the play. So the outback Miami Hurricane defensive line for Randy Shannon. Very talented group. But when you come in here in this heat and humidity, you've got to have 7, 8 defensive linemen rotate out. Romeo Davis moved to the middle this year, has played very well. We'll see young Willie Williams a little bit more as this game unfolds. Good plays last week against Clemson. Kenny Phillips, number 1, the free safety. His first start a week ago against Clemson, he caught the game-sealing interception in the third overtime. Coaches were very pleased with his progress. He drops deep back to center field. They throw the slant short of the first down. It'll be third and short that time as Dusty Sprague, the 6'4" receiver, makes the catch.
You can see the way that Sean Watson, offensive coordinator, works his game for Gary Barnett. He's been with him a long time. You get yourself in position to make first downs in this Colorado offense. You want if it's second and long, you get half of it. You put yourself in position against Miami where you can run and throw the ball. That is trademark Colorado football.
And now they can do either on 3rd and 2 here, Gary, too. And Clapp is going to throw off of it. Sprinting to the right, not going to get the first down. A terrific play by John Beeson, the defensive back on that far side. He rode Clapp out of bounds before he got to the first down marker.
Also, Brandon Merriweather, number 19, the strong safety, just ate up the tight end on the play. The ball was supposed to go to one of those 2 big tight ends, Klopfenstein or Sipnewski. See, I did it. Klopfenstein or Sipnewski. I thought that was a challenge for me today. But Brandon Merriweather got him and completed. There was nowhere for Clapp to go with that football.
No.
Boy, it was close. Brent just said it was Klopfenstein.
You didn't have to give that away. You didn't have to give that
No,
away.
it's close enough. When there are 22 letters on
I was
two
covering
guys.
for you. Come on. I don't need.
First down.
They did
whatever.
get it.
That's right.
I didn't think he got it. Was that well?
All right. To be fair, I didn't get the name and you didn't get the first down.
That's right. So we're even here. But the Buffaloes, and not to make a big issue out of this, but I'll make an issue out of it regardless. It had nothing to do with that spot. John Bible is our referee here.
I wonder if this would be
now this
reviewed.
could be reviewed.
Absolutely.
The spot of the ball could be reviewed.
Oh, no. You might be right, you mean? Can I review mine?
So here, John is coming over. He will communicate.
Oh,
remember,
please.
this is the college version, and the decision is made upstairs. This is an ACC crew, all right, with the replay. It's a Big 12 officiating crew. Now let's take a look and see what we see here.
Stretches the ball out. He's not out of bounds. No offense, Miami, but Brent will be unbearable if he's right on this one.
I want to, Gary, I do want to go back to that brawl because it was extremely controversial.
Can't
The
tell on that
officiating crew was from the Big East.
Right.
Remember, Miami was a member of the Big East back in those days, 12 years ago. The athletic director at Colorado, as I recall from one picture, actually stormed onto the field to protest some of the calls that were being made.
This looks like the best angle right here, and I hate to say it, from that angle, that might be the one that the judge upstairs. Now remember, indisputable evidence. That one was pretty close to me, like with that marker is right over there, it looked like he hit that out of bounds.
I was stunned when they moved the marker. I didn't even think it was close, to tell you the truth, but it was obviously close, so I'm exaggerating.
It was very close.
My eyes are aging, and I didn't have all my medicine last week, and all those sort of things. So anyway, we're scoreless here.
You know, when he ran it, I thought he had no chance, and he laid out with the football to make it closer than I thought on the play. Again, Brandon Merriweather did a great job downfield, and that's the reason Klatt had to do it.
A welcome relief, I'm sure, for the Warriors down on the field, given the muggy conditions that Jack Arute told you about. And here's Gary Barnett. Let me take you back to that night here when they beat Notre Dame. And I thought Gary was the quarterback coach. He said, no, Jerry DiNardo had taken the head coaching job at Vanderbilt. And so Bill McCartney, the head coach, said, we wish you good luck. You can come to the game. But, Gary, you're our offensive coordinator for the game against Notre Dame. So for the first time in his career, Gary Barnett called the plays. Then he would lose his quarterback, Darian Hagan, in the first half of that game. And, of course, they hung on. The Rocket Ishmael scored a touchdown on a kick, but that was called back because of an illegal block. And Colorado had at least the AP share of the national championship. So we're at the top of the hour with Jack Arute and Gary Danielson. I'm Brent Musburger. We've had a little replay stoppage here, and it is over the spot of the ball, and it seems like a rather lengthy stoppage of play for something that routine. But I remember last year when the Big Ten instigated the rule, the biggest problem they had was spotting the ball one afternoon in Wisconsin. It took forever for them to make the decision. And of course, what Gary says is absolutely right. If it's not indisputable, it stands. Now here comes John Bible. He'll make the announcement.
After further review, the runner went out of bounds before he gained the line needed for a first down. It'll be 4th down and 2 yards at the 49-yard line.
So now it is 4th down, and quite a change in circumstances as they.
That's why, even though it was only a half a yard one way or another, it's a big play because it was obviously a first down. Miami is the best in the ACC. Only 12% of the time our teams picking up first downs against Miami's defense on 3rd down conversions.
John Torp. Now here's their other weapon for Colorado. Let's see if he can. He's up against the ever-dangerous Devin and Hester back there standing at the 10-yard line, folks. Here's one of those great games today. The kicking game is just wonderful between these two teams.
Miami's playing safe defense, anticipating a possible fake.
They are off the Gunners. They're going to defend the Gunners with just one man. Torp with a great leg, hangs it high. Hester signals fair catch, bluffs, and lets it go on into the end zone. It'll come on out on the 20-yard line, and Colorado might have been able to catch that. That's a 49-yarder. And John, update us on Ohio State and Iowa in the Big Ten, my friend.
Well, Brent, it's the BCS Spotlight game presented by ADT Update. As you said, Iowa, Ohio State. Troy Smith, he's the quarterback on every play now. 8 yards to Anthony Gonzalez as the Buckeyes take a 7-0 lead. Both these teams 2-1, but both their losses non-conference. Brent, back to you.
You know, John, after watching Iowa State struggle against Army, it wasn't that a good game on ESPN last night, but after watching them, you're wondering about Iowa right now, aren't you? And they've fallen behind early. First down and 10. Here comes Moss. And I believe the Canes and running back coach Don Solinger, they're going to go to a muscle game here for head coach.
Well, that's what saved them against Clemson second half. They just ran the ball inside.
Jack, what's going on, my friend?
Well, I've got my trusty thermometer. We just opened up at about 95 degrees. It has spiked all the way up to 98 degrees. Now, Colorado was very aware of the heat and humidity here in Miami, so they called the Miami Dolphins opponent a couple of weeks ago. The Denver Broncos said, what should we do? They said, just don't do what we did. They lost.
Exactly. Quick strike on the outside to Akeem Jalla. And Jalla picks up the initial Miami first down of this game. They had been 3 and out a couple of times here.
That's what I'm talking about, what Miami needs to do for Kyle Wright. Get him into the rhythm of the game by throwing a lot of quick, short, 5-step and 3-step passes early in the game so he can get the tempo of the football game earlier, not those 7-step drops.
Tony Tella in at right guard. Will Schlager, you saw him lead the offensive line to the line of scrimmage. That's the work in progress. This time he's got time, and he overthrows the deep man Moore. They send him deep, and he was covered by Jarrett Burrell, the junior corner. Well, Kyle Wright was talking about that, Gary, what he's trying to improve.
Trying to get rid of the ball quicker. You know, I'm going through my reads pretty well, but getting to that last, you know, 4th, 5th read, to that check down. And also, the first 2 games, you know, there was a little fatigue towards the end and maybe overstriding a little bit.
They just give him a 3-step drop now so he can quickly hit Leggett. Leggett has been in a slump coming into this game. He does have an injured foot, but he had only 1 reception for -8 yards. Now, he's the burner. One of the things that stands out immediately in watching this game unfold is that the Colorado defensive backs are outstanding. And they are faster than we were led to believe by some. They have been right up on the Miami receivers so far in this game. And under the Colorado scheme, they will leave the corners out on an island. They'll move the safeties up to stop the run, and those corners have to do the job. And Barnett has talent there. 3rd down now for Wright from the gun. Fires, first down to the 41-yard line. Cineris Moss, Santana's younger brother, and what a Monday night he had, huh?
2 touchdown passes to win by Big Brother. Watch this. You're going to see the quarterback get hit coming a crossing route. But this time, right in the middle of the field, Moss comes and catches it right where you need to attack this type of defense.
So now Miami moves into Colorado territory at the 40-yard line. See what they can come up with here. Burrell is one of the corners. On the toss play to Moss, they try to stretch the defense. He cuts back the other way. There's Wright to lead the way. And Moss makes the most out of nothing. A 12-yard run when he was jammed in the direction the play was designed to go.
Well, Miami is doing what they have to do, hit the big 3rd down plays, but also we talked about protecting their quarterback, pressuring Joel Klatt. That goes for saying when you got a senior quarterback. And can Miami find some big plays, either in the kicking game, the deep passing game, or a defensive score? They've done that great in the past.
Moss carried 31 times in that triple overtime against Clemson. Had the game winner. Behind Hill to Leggett, trying to get his speed going. Inside the 20-yard line, and now the Canes move. And Darnell, let me check that. Darnell Jenkins, the receiver that time, and not Leggett, as they go into the red zone for the first time today.
Boy, do I like this game plan now. You can see how Kyle Wright is growing with the offense. When you give him those quick throws, that keeps that Colorado defense from blitzing. It's very tough to blitz a team that throws the quick game because you're scared to death. He'll pop one and go all the way before you get to him.
Leaving the fullback in that eye. Moss behind the left side. Over on the Eric Winston side, we mentioned Santana Moss and his dramatics for Washington last Monday night. Well, this week, the high-powered Kansas City Chiefs go out to Denver to play the Broncos. The Chiefs are 2-0. The Broncos are 1-1. Dick Vermeil has not had real good luck out in Denver against Coach Shanahan and the Broncos, either with the Rams or the Chiefs. But we will see what the Broncos come up with against a Kansas City team that is much, much better on defense. First down. Wright has time on the play action. Incomplete. Very well defended that time by Lorenzo Sims, the junior corner. Lorenzo was all over the receiver.
Miami is running the formation that was so successful for them last week. They're putting Rashard Butler, number 64 there, and there's Eric Winston right next to him. 2 tackles on the same side of the field is a different look. Remember, Eric Winston once was a tight end, and he's lining up occasionally in that spot again as a change-up in the formations.
2 tight ends. Ortega joins Olsen on this second down and 10. That's Ortega with the H-back look. And they're going to run Moss over behind him, and it is jammed. Moss made the most out of that. He was hit in the backfield by Washington.
And Billingsley was up there too, Brett. You talked about those safeties being very nosy. J.J. Billingsley, number 5, was in the backfield and took on that blocker to actually blow that play up. Billingsley, who's gone through so much, two knee surgeries, had academic problems, but he's back now in that secondary.
Third down and 9.
Miami has 6 defensive backs on the field. Excuse me, Colorado.
And again, Wright sprinting hard to the left. Hill gives him a good block, and he cuts back the other way. On the move, he throws it away, and it'll be 4th down if they come out with John Petty right now to attempt a field goal. He was perfect against Clemson. His 37-yarder was long as Kyle Wright unable to finish up.
Those sprint outs to one side of the field for Miami are being defended very well by Colorado. That whole defense is shifting over, and Kyle Wright has nowhere to throw the ball. I think they're going to have to drop back to be successful throwing against this Colorado quick defense.
So here's a 34-yarder. Colorado has already missed one. And Petty responds, putting Miami on the board, but there is a flag. And I wonder if the hold of the kicker was roughed. It could be against Colorado. It is 4th down and 9, remember, in this situation. Let's see what happened.
Good hold, good snap that time.
And number 10, it looks like inadvertently he ran into the kicker. And that's Terry Washington, the nickelback, who rolled into it.
Penalty is declined.
They'll take the 3 because they could not have had a first down with the penalty. It was 4th down and 9. Miami strikes first. Colorado will receive when we come back. Our Nissan drive summary. So Miami kicks a field goal. Colorado had missed one, and the Canes are up by a field goal. Colorado had a 1st and goal at the 7-yard line and came away with no points. So that the difference in our game here. And Brian Monroe, the punter, will put the ball on the tee, and he will kick it off. Robinson and Washington are back deep. They will kick it off into that wind. The wind is coming out of the east, right to the left on your screen as you watch from the 50-yard line cameras. And so the return men are up on about the 8-yard line with that breeze in the face of Monroe. Here's Washington. He'll come from the 5. Just smoking. College football on ABC Sports is brought to you by Nissan. Reminds you to shift the way you move through the world. Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, one taste and you get it. And IBM become an on-demand business. IBM can help.
One of the other great young players for this Miami team, that's Randy Phillips, a defensive back that came up with that huge hit. Number 6, watch this. Going one way, going the other way. Wow.
So now Joel Klatt working against that base 4-3 defense of the Canes. Pulls it straight back. Middle, complete. And despite the hit, well, the Evan Judge hangs on. And you know, we talked to Joel Klatt about why the Miami defense is so unique.
Structurally, to get in your head or anything like that, what they do is they just let their athletes make plays. They do a tremendous job of getting after the quarterback with their front four. They do a great job of letting their athletes be athletes and just play fast all over the field.
And Merriweather that time was an athlete, but he couldn't jar it loose.
Yeah, I love the way Judge just bounced up, though. That sends a message to his teammates.
First down for Colorado coming out. Wanted to set the screen, couldn't, and throws it down. It's incomplete. The lineman had set the screen area, and I'll tell you, Miami wants intentional grounding on this play. I'm not sure there was a receiver right there. There is the yellow flag. The lineman had set the screen, and Miami blew it up.
Yeah, I think he was trying to go to Patrick Williams, number 4, but Williams was tackled on the play.
Intentional grounding, 14 on the offense. Penalty is loss of down at the spot of the foul.
He was doing that to save a loss of yardage. So it's from the spot of the foul. We were actually talking to the officials about the intentional grounding calls, and there's a couple of versions of it, and that'll be a loss of 12 yards on the play.
A lot of
Since
motion.
he lost the yardage, it'll just be
to
a
the
loss
right.
of down.
Patrick tries to come in on a slip screen that time. Nobody to throw the ball to that time. Patrick Williams, and Klatt just has to get rid of it, and really took a big hit on the play.
Second down and 22. This is not what Barnett wanted, because the Miami athletes can tee it up now. Klatt rolls hard to the right, down at the 10-yard line, and it will be 3rd and 32, I believe, something like that, after that loss by Joel Klatt, who stumbled and went down as the Canes were closing in.
I think Klatt is a little bit had his bell rung on the play before. He stumbled out from the beginning of that play. Tough kid trying to stay in there. But watch, he just doesn't look like himself right there the whole way. Stumbles once and stumbles again. I think the hit before affected him on this play. Let's watch him.
Remember, they've had to juggle that offensive line. 3rd and 32. No plays, and there's a penalty. There was movement on this play. The linesman on the near side.
I'll tell you, Clint O'Neill, number 73, moved too early that time, and then never.
Ball start, number 73 offense.
Then never even.
3rd down.
Never even turned around to help his quarterback. Here's the screen pass on the first down play where he gets hit. Watch this. That's a big hit from 2 guys. Just gets his bell rung in the head, and then the next 2 plays, Klatt looks like he's a little bit punch drunk.
Campbell and Harris made the sandwich.
Really upset with Clint O'Neill, number 73, if I'm the quarterback. He lets his defensive end, Thomas Carroll, come around him, never even turns around to help his quarterback up off the ground.
2 of those big Canes close in. That's tougher than trying to hit a curveball. 3rd down and 37. A very safe play, and Charles rushes out to the 16, and a penalty flag is thrown into the middle. Let's see if that was a face mask.
Yep.
And hang on here. Let's see what happens on this face mask call. We know the difference. One of them is an automatic first down.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense. 15-yard penalty.
That's it.
It's an automatic first down.
Oh, brother. Was that a 3rd and 37, George Hill? Is that what we had? Yes.
Yes.
Verified 3rd and 37. And they come up with a first down at the 30-yard line after the 15-yard penalty.
And basically, Colorado was willing to punt the football on that play. They were just trying to get out of there with some field position. You see, inside Hugh Charles runs it. There it is, the face mask turns his head. That's definitely a 15-yarder. Great call.
He reminds defensive coordinator Randy Shannon of Lorenzo Booker, Hugh Charles does. Booker, a running back at Florida State. Here he comes again. He's got a good dash. And he was hit by Merriweather. Brandon Merriweather is delivering a pounding out there.
That's 2 big hits and 1 great cover on the tight end. Merriweather in there basically because of the injury to Reddick. I mean, Merriweather and Reddick were the 2 safeties. Kenny Phillips comes in for Reddick, but Merriweather seems to be finding himself.
So Brandon Merriweather, same high school as Warren Sapp, who's now with the Oakland Raiders, who was an electric return man here in South Florida. There are a lot of recruits down on the sideline watching Miami from the South Florida high schools that played last night. Here's Klatt, fires, complete, and stopped from a first down. So that was very good defense as Leon Williams, number 44, came back and helped prevent Colorado from gaining a first down at the 40-yard line.
Tell you, the 2 tight ends for Colorado give them a lot of options in calling formations. That time, with 2 tight ends in the game, they flanked the big guys out and gave Miami a look of 4 wide receivers. That really gives you a lot of flexibility when you're trying to run against this Miami defense.
Paul Creighton checks in offensively. Charles empties the backfield. 3rd and short. And let's see what Klatt comes up with. They're going to use the end-around look with Trump. And Miami blows it up. Merriweather again. Number 19.
I don't get it. It was 3rd and inches on that play, and you run a play into the teeth of the speed Miami defense. 3rd and inches. I think you got to run the ball right up the gut. You see it. Sweet play to the outside. Tough to block. 8 different, 9 different, 11 different Miami players who have a shot on a play like that.
So it will be punter John Torp against Devin Hester again. You note that Miami is not attacking the Gunners with 2 men. They don't think they're fast enough. They think that Torp sometimes will out-punt the coverage. Hester driven back to the 10. The sideline is there, and Hester is out to the 21-yard line before he is brought down by Terry Washington. Well, Monday night, a reminder, folks, that the LSU-Tennessee game was postponed today. Tonight has been moved to Monday night, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN2. And while we're at it, we hope the folks down there in Texas and Louisiana are staying safe today with Hurricane Rita, having roared into that area east of the Houston area earlier today. And we wish all our good friends who are watching this game down there good health today. And we hope that no further problems, although that looks like it's going to sit there for a while. Deflected, incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, let's talk about the All-American Eric Winston, the big guy. He's got a lot of things going for him. First off, he is huge, 6'7", 312 pounds. Those offensive tackles, when he grabs onto you, they're like vices. And he's got feet like a ballerina, but he'll pound you when he gets a chance. Big guy, great feet.
It was Gary's idea to put you in a skirt, big fella. I had nothing to do with that. Complete to Olsen in underneath. First down, Miami. A crossing pattern beautifully executed by Wright and his favorite target this year. And Jack, what are you hearing about Joel Klatt down below?
Well, Gary was very perceptive about the performance of Joel Klatt in that last series, but it isn't as much that he got his bell rung as he's developed a problem with his right big toe. The athletic trainers have pulled the sock and the shoe. They've been massaging it and checking it.
And Miami hits again. Hill, the fullback, rushes out to midfield for a first down. And Miami again on the run.
There's a bell in your little toe. Is a big toe, isn't there? I think there is. I think there's a bell down there. Unbalanced line again for Miami.
Draw play. Coming with the fullback who is stopped, Quad Hill. And John, are the Buckeyes still on the roll against Iowa?
Brent, they are. Here in this Taco Bell update, you'll see why, because Troy Smith, we showed him passing for one, and he's got the great feet as well. Goes 16 yards for a touchdown. Ohio State now up by a pair. Back to you.
John, a year ago, Matt Roth would have made that tackle. That left defensive end spot. Now, second down, right, fires. Complete another, well, let's see where they spot it. The receiver may have given it up, as you see that yellow line right down there as he put it into Moss's hands.
Boy, this is the timing that you need to do with a young quarterback. Look at Kyle Wright get comfortable with the football. He's dropping, he's planting, and he's throwing the football. He's emerging as a great talent.
And the time is starting to work against the Colorado defense.
And the heat.
Again, they're back on the field. 3 down linemen. Now they blitz off of that look. And here is Wright. High and caught at the 20-yard line by Moss again.
Moss just shut it down in the seam that time. That is a receiver that knows what he's doing. Kyle Wright taking it from behind. Gets hit again just as he lets it go, but throws it right in the seam. And Moss, like Big Brother, is making some big plays in this football game.
We've come to the end of the first quarter. Miami kicking a field goal and Colorado missing one. When you come to the Orange Bowl to play the Canes, get ready for the smoking heat because it's coming at you. The second quarter is coming up. Can Miami finish this drive?
You're watching college football on ABC Sports, home of the Bowl Championship Series.
Miami back in the red zone. 136 yards offense for Kyle Wright. 5.9 yards a play for Miami in this game. 1st and 10. Short drop deflected. It'll be second down and 10. And Gary has been making the point during that commercial break while we were away that Kyle Wright looks a lot better, smoother, and perhaps better plays for him.
You know, Brent, I really think Dan Werner has done a great job getting Kyle Wright off quicker in these games. He struggled in the first half. Now, admittedly, tough places to play in both of those games. But he's got the feel of the game much better earlier in this game.
Here's on second down now. And Hill, I am left wondering if maybe Tyrone Moss, with that heavy-duty work last week, didn't come away just a little bit nicked from that game. We're seeing just a little bit more of Hill than I would have anticipated down here by the Canes. Don is very pleased. Solinger now, the running back coach, told me before the game that he's extremely pleased with Moss's physical condition and said he was hurt most of last year in that shoulder. And they have elected to go away from him now, which is unusual after a big week in which he carries 31 times. Now it is third down, shotgun, passing situation. Olsen, the H-back. Incomplete. It hit the ground.
Good throw there. Would have been a touchdown.
Well, let's check in with Penn State and Northwestern, John. Joe Paterno still got them rolling.
Randy does with that 3-0 start, but Northwestern has the lead 13-0 until Michael Robinson goes 37 yards to Justin King for the touchdown. Gets the Nittany Lions on the board. Your Northwestern Wildcats off to a good start, too.
Yeah, kind of surprising today, John. It's a 37-yarder here for Petty for the Hurricanes, and that's no good. So he's 1 of 2. Colorado is 0 of 1, and both misses were with the wind at their backs. Go figure. 10 o'clock out in the Rocky Mountains, where I'm sure a lot of Colorado Buffalo fans are watching, and their team has survived 2 drives here by the Miami Hurricanes. They trail by only a field goal. Gary Danielson and Jack Arute. I'm Brett Musburger. Nice to have you with us. You know, we have a former Hurricane star, Andre Johnson, who helped lead them to a national championship a few years back down on the sidelines. He plays for the Texans, and of course that team evacuated Houston. He's down below. We're going to hear from him in a moment. They have a bye week, and he's here watching his former team. Miami players who leave always stay loyal to the program. It's amazing to me the number of Canes who come back here year after year. Now the Colorado Buffaloes with a first down for Clapp. Vickers looked over to the side and
they're going to restart the clock. Interesting formation again by Colorado. Show the versatility. This is a fullback down here. This is a tight end over there. That's a lot of different looks with a basic package.
And here comes Charles. He's got daylight on the slant. First down. So Charles rushes out to the 38-yard line. And let's go down to Jack Arute, who's with Andre.
Yeah, lucky for a bye week, Andre, for you guys before taking on Cincinnati because of Hurricane Rita. Did all your folks get out okay?
Yeah, most of my family is here in Miami. So, you know, I was the only one in Houston. And, you know, I was able to get out, you know, before, you know, there was a lot of traffic and things like that.
Tell me why it is that so many Miami players migrate back home here to watch a game when they have an off time from the NFL.
I mean, there's nothing like it. I mean, when you're here at the University of Miami, you know, it's some of the best days of your life. So, I mean, when you get a chance to come back, you just want to come back and just support the young guy.
And here's intercepted, picked off by Maxey, the most underrated defensive back on the team and one of the fastest. He's down to the 26-yard line. Marcus Maxey has given him a scoring opportunity. Jack, thanks for that with Andre Johnson. Boy, Maxey gave him a big opportunity here.
Big misread by the quarterback this time, Joel Klatt. The receiver is going to run a corner to the outside. Tight end stays in. It's just a two-man pattern this time for Joel Klatt. But he fails to see the corner to the bottom of the screen, who sinks and actually had, that time, Patrick Williams covered inside and out. Bad read, not a bad throw, a bad read by the quarterback.
And now let's see what Miami can do. Moss is back in. Averaging 4.5 yards coming into this game. Play action to him on first down, and that leaves the outside wide open. Ball was a little bit highly thrown to Moss that time, but he made still another catch. So Cineris Moss is having a huge day here.
Sure is, and again, anticipating the blitz. Dan Warner gets his quarterback out of the pocket, wide open. Moss this time, good enough throw. Come on, you're at Miami, you got to make those types of catches, and he does.
4 catches for 58 yards for Cineris Moss, Santana's younger brother here in the first half. Now they pound back with Moss down to around the 10-yard line. Well, this date in history, huh? It's memorable. Now Miami holds the NCAA record for most consecutive home wins with 58. Who beat Miami to end this streak on this very day a few years back? Who snapped their 58-game home winning streak? That was not the only big thing that happened in college football on that day either. So it is now second down. The ball has been spotted at the 11-yard line. They can get a first down inside the 2. The Canes can. 3-step drop, incomplete, third down. And John, what's going on with the Mountaineers of West Virginia?
Well, the Mountaineers are marching, and marching quickly. This is Antonio Lewis, who takes the punt, and I don't think anybody even got a hand on him. You see the speed, good blocking into the end zone, takes it back 76 yards for the touchdown. West Virginia also looking to go to 4-0 with a 14-3 lead. Brent.
All right, John, circle that West Virginia Louisville game in Morgantown later in the season. That could be the big roadblock for Louisville. They drive to go unbeaten and wind up in a major BCS situation. Third down now for Wright, back in the gun, high snap, pulls it right down. Quarterback draw. He's not going to get a first down. And there's a penalty flag. And was that a headbutt?
Well, Kyle Wright slid down that time, and the tackler was tackling while he was sliding. I don't know what we're going to call it, but that seemed odd.
Well, 13 on the defense. Contact with a helmet.
I thought it was
That's a half a distance penalty.
Joe Sanders.
It's an automatic first down.
And an automatic first down, very costly penalty.
But watch how Kyle Wright, if we get a look at this, kind of falls down as he's getting tackled. The defender was making the tackle as he was going down, and it was helmet to helmet.
The Colorado coaches are very upset.
Watch the end of it right here. He sees him coming and he ducks. See, I don't think that should be helmet to helmet. I mean, the quarterback ducked right into the tackle. That's a bad call, I think.
And now a timeout has been called by Colorado. They were confused on defense after arguing they didn't get the defensive personnel on the field. We'll be right back. Coming up on the Valvoline Halftime Show, John, Craig, and Aaron, they'll have all of the highlights. And John will talk with Washington head coach Ty Willingham about his split with Notre Dame. And NFL star Michael Vick runs through the differences between him and his brother Marcus at Virginia Tech. So many of you will see Washington and Notre Dame in the Ty Willingham Bowl, if you will, and the rest will see Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech. Here is Moss twisting and short of the end zone, so it will be 2nd down and goal inside of 12 minutes here in the first half. And Washington, that Mike linebacker, makes another stop.
James Bryant, number 45, is in at fullback. He's the big blocking back down here. Moss obviously back in the football game, but Bryant, number 45, is the guy who leads them in these short yardage plays. He blew up the end of the line of scrimmage on the last one. Let's see if they do it again.
After the interception, the fade to Moore, touchdown. No, did not hang on over there. Wow, I thought he had it, and Ryan Moore was juggling. You can see the field judge right there. Moore thought he had it.
Lorenzo Sims, number 22, did a great job of staying with this play. Perfectly thrown. Ryan Moore has to catch this first, but watch Sims, number 22, stay with it, gets his hand on it, and strips the ball out. That is a wonderful play by Sims.
I'll tell you what, in the NFL, they'd call that a touchdown.
I don't know if he had control of it, though. He still was moving it.
So here is 3rd and goal. Wright forced to take it on the run, fires back to the middle, and now suddenly it's 4th and goal, and Coker has a decision to make.
What a great stand by this Colorado defense. They've been out there a long time in this first half. This is the 3rd time they've been backed up. They had that helmet-to-helmet call, and they stood up again for 3 straight downs. Great defense.
Can that defense continue? I mean, the offense has got to get some pressure off of them and give them a rest. Here's Petty. From the right hash, this would be a 20-yarder. Got it. So it's 6-0. 2 field goals for Miami. But they're kicking field goals and not scoring touchdowns. That can come back to haunt you. All right, our Aflac trivia question. Miami holds the record, most consecutive home wins, 58. Who beat the Canes right here to end the streak in this stadium? It was the Washington Huskies. They beat Miami 38-20 11 years ago today. Now, something else happened on that date, but a reminder that you will see Washington later today against Notre Dame. All right, so what else happened? Let's take you to Ann Arbor. Colorado fans know what's coming. Here's Keith Jackson.
Stewart, good time. Lets it go. He's got 3 people down there. The ball's up in the air. Caught. Touchdown. Caught by Westbrook for a touchdown.
So there you have it. 11 years ago today, the Colorado Miracle in Ann Arbor and Miami's 58-game home winning streak comes to an end on this day in college football. Right now, the Canes up by 6 over Colorado. And Colorado, Gary, has to really be taking heart in the fact that Miami's settling for field goals.
Their defense and their coaching staff was electric when they came there. But the cumulative effect on the defense in the long run means that Colorado offense quickly has to help them or it'll be a long day.
Well, they should get some field position off of this one. Robinson. It was high enough. And there's enough speed on that Miami team that they could not get anything going on it. So it was kicked up in the air, and it will be spotted right down there around the 20-yard line for Joe Klatt. Let's take a look at the total yards here. Colorado with 87, and Miami with 157. Klatt is a 50% passer for 49 yards in this game. Charles has rushed for 50 yards, and Sprague has been his big target. Gary?
The problem for Colorado is they have no game breakers at wide receiver, and they're not able to run the ball consistently, so it's forcing Gary Barnett and Sean Washington to try to trick the Miami defense every call. It won't work long term.
4-3, that base defense. Charles tries to cut in the hole. He's a slippery one, isn't he? And you're talking about defending Colorado. And Gary, you had a chance to talk with defensive coordinator Randy Shannon, and you asked him about defending the Buffaloes.
We're going to see some two tight end zone teams where they're knocking you off the ball. And we feel like if we can stop them and get them in the 3rd down and 5+, you know, that's to our advantage. But we can't go out there and say just pound, pound, pound. We got to also be careful with the play action pass.
So 2nd down and 9, and his young linebacker, Willie Williams, the controversial redshirt freshman, number 17, is in at that weak side linebacking spot right now. 2nd down. Quick throw by Klatt is complete, but no first down. And Merriweather defending on the play. So Brandon Merriweather is having a big day.
Sure is. And he should be having a big day because the Colorado wide receivers are not stretching the field, allowing Kenny Phillips and Merriweather to really crowd those tight ends and running backs, making each one of those throws really, really tough.
Joe Kloffenstein has been struggling to get into this attack. 3rd down, Kloffenstein, number 89, he came in, the number 1 receiver for the Buffaloes. Lawrence Vickers is behind Klatt. Here's your 3rd down. High, incomplete. And Colorado is forced to punt. Ball was thrown high that time, and the Miami front 7 is stomping.
I think that toe is bothering Joel Klatt. That is a push-off. I mean, that's where you try to throw the football, and he has thrown that ball high. He does not look. Klatt is not an extremely mobile guy to begin with, and this has made him more of a sitting target and really isn't stepping into his throws well at all.
Torp versus Hester again. He boomed this one up in the air. Drives Hester back. Slips that first gunner. Going to cut back and driven down at the 26-yard line overall. Good coverage. So when we come back, Kyle Wright and the offense will go to work again as Iwu defends it, and I hear that there is a flag down on the field. So let John Bible sort this one out. It was on the far side, 25.
There were no gunners to that side of the field. That flag was thrown right at the line of scrimmage. I'd say they lined up too many people in the backfield maybe for Colorado.
Illegal formation on the offense. 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Penalty is declined. First down, Miami.
Well, I'm surprised Miami declined that penalty.
Well, they want the ball at the 31. They want to go back on offense. So we'll see what happens. Miami's passed for 112 yards. 157 total yards, but they can't stick the ball in the end zone against this tenacious Colorado defense. Now with a first down following the punt, coming out from their own 30. Here's Moss, and he is stopped. And Gary, let's take a look at our Dodge defensive playbook.
When you're throwing the ball into the end zone, sometimes these defenses modern day, they just line up 5, 6, or in this part, 7 guys in the end zone and dare you to try to find a seam. You see Kyle Wright looks. The flow of the defense allows him nowhere to throw the ball, nothing to do but toss it away.
So it's second down coming up here inside of 10 minutes. First down after the penalty. Make it first down and 5 as Colorado jumped into that neutral zone. Well, Larry Coker celebrating today, having signed his contract extension. Making some pretty good bucks down here. Deflected, incomplete. And John, what's happened with those Wildcats against Penn State?
Those Wildcats, Brent? Well, you're a Wildcat. They've beaten Penn State 2 years in a row, and Brett Passaney goes 38 yards to Jonathan Fields here down to the 1-yard line, sets up a touchdown. Since then, they've added a field goal. Northwestern is really putting a hurting on Penn State. The Nittany Lions unbeaten coming into this game. Brent.
I'm stunned, and Gary's not. He thought Gary would play them pretty tough.
Yeah, I thought,
driving over the ballpark, I thought the Nittany Lions would roll in that one.
Brett Passaney might be the best unkept secret in the Big Ten.
Hester in as a runner, just short of the first down, number 4. But we talked about coaches' salaries, Larry Coker. He's not in the upper echelon, folks. Bob Stoops at Oklahoma is number 1 with $3.1 million. Mac Brown behind him, along with Tommy Tuberville at Auburn. There's Urban Meyer. Now, he earned $500,000 at Utah. He jumped to 2.1 up in Gainesville. And, of course, Bobby Bowden, he led that group into the $1 million atmosphere. But when you think about the job that these guys do in the stadiums that they fill around the country, plus the fact there's a great salary cap in college football, if you notice, and there's a first down. So why not pay these coaches good money? Larry will get upwards, about 1.75, one and about $750,000 million. He's done an outstanding job here as head coach. A very calm, kind of a low-key guy, not as flamboyant as some of the coaches have been down here in South Florida. But all he does is win. And when you're down here at Miami, you have to win every game. I mean, there are no days off.
By a lot.
He was second guessed for the Florida State loss, and he would really have been second guessed if he'd lost. He'd gone 0-2 against Clemson, and that was very close, and there's a penalty flag thrown on the far side. When Clemson went back and looked over and over at that last play of regulation before the field goal, last play from scrimmage, they're saying, how did we not win that game? That
offside, number 47 on the defense, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Even though it's only 6-0, this Miami defense has been on the field for a long time. 43 to 24 plays, so 20 different plays, and it's going to get more and more. This defense will be out there a lot of players are going to have to play on the defense, and there's a reason guys are second string. So you get that Miami offense against the backups, they're going to feel much better.
First down from the 47-yard line. Right off the play fake, takes a deep drop, gonna go, he's got his man. Touchdown, Miami, and you know who it is. 53 yards to number 83. The Moss brothers having a huge week in the NFL, and here in college football where Santana once played and today Cineris is the star. He just rolled right past the corner.
Kind of does a little bend out. Watch him bend out and a little squat by the corner. His ball was slightly underthrown. Really didn't make any difference on this one. Kyle Wright gets his first big play that he's been looking for more and more. That's what that Miami offense can do when they run the ball.
Petty tacks on the extra point. Moss did a great job of running down that sideline and not going out of bounds, didn't he? The tightrope back. And Miami leads it by 13.
Brent, you said it. The Moss brothers, both in the pros and here in Miami, having a great weekend. But if you ask older brother Santana, who's his favorite hero? He talks about Cineris. In fact, when you go to the Redskins locker room, it's Cineris Moss's picture that is plastered prominently inside of Santana Moss's locker.
Yeah, exactly, Jack. And Santana calls regularly. The brothers talk on the telephone. No one was happier about Santana's heroics than Cineris. Watching that game on Monday night. How about Joe Gibbs's joy in that game? He'd been beat up by Bill Parcells and the Cowboys, and that's just a huge win for the Redskins. And now here, Cineris has had a 100-yard first half from the goal line, Washington, and he brings it on out to the 28. Well, Kyle Wright, there's a penalty flag thrown on the play, and we'll get this, but I'm going to say that Kyle Wright, he was able to keep the safeties out with his tight ends having to be occupied, and he's always talked about that with Gary. And I mean, when he sends somebody deep, so it's against the receiving team, it'll be their football. And let's go to Kyle and let him describe this in his own words.
We'll have the tight end running a seam and the outside guy running a seam, so it puts that safety in a bind. And if he's working out towards the outside guy, then I really have to make sure where the free safety is in case he's going to be able to come over and make a play. Try to play some games with those safeties, get them going one way or another, and that's going to determine which guy I'm going to throw the ball to.
And Gary, he had his one-on-one coverage on the outside, didn't he?
Yep, the little stutter really caught Sims squatting on the play, and he's been missing the big throw. The big throw, he made it on that one.
Yeah, he sure did. 1st and 10 for Klatt. And they come back with a running play. Gary Barnett does. Byron Ellis, and I believe that's his first carry of the game. Hugh Charles had been carrying the load.
I think if you're Gary Barnett right now, you're selling to your offense that this might be a first downs mandatory, or our defense can't hold up any longer. If you have any opportunity to win this football game, you got to make 3, 4, 5 first downs right now.
Dusty Sprague is out to the left along with Patrick Williams. 2nd down.
Blitz look, he's audibling.
First down. On a cutback by Ellis, just shy of the 30-yard line. 1:30 here in South Florida on a hot, muggy Saturday afternoon. Temperature up into the 90s, and a few weeks back, the humidity took its toll on the Denver Broncos, and here the Hurricanes told us they expect the same to affect the Colorado Buffaloes. You have to come in with an awful lot of alignment, especially on the defensive side. If you're continuing to rush the passer, fight the running backs, it'll wear you down.
Randy Phillips right there, freshman corner, is in the football game.
On a play fake, here's Vickers. And Vickers is to the 34-yard line, picking up about 4. And Leon Williams, number 44 there, makes a stop.
You know, I'm starting to see emerge right here from the Miami corners. They just don't have any fear of the receivers for Colorado. They are right in their face. They're sneaking up to safeties. Now, if Colorado can get their running game going, they might get the play action, go deep, just like what happened to them.
Platt with a 2nd and 5.
Both corners right there, right on the line of scrimmage.
Ellis couldn't stretch the defense, and this will be 3rd down and about 3. Coming up is Harris and Monker, Eric Monker. You know, Orion Harris, he's the big fellow on the defensive line, number 92. He's an All-American candidate down there. It just seems, Gary, that every time we've ever come down here and done a Kane game, there's a defensive tackle who's a candidate for the All-American.
And Orion Harris is the guy that, if you talk to the Miami coaches, needs to be that dominating inside guy. You play defense at Miami from inside out. Defensive tackle, middle linebacker, and safeties. And they've always had great guys at those positions.
3rd and 3. Joe Klatt underneath has the first down. Dusty Sprague, the 6'4" sophomore receiver, picks it up, and the chains move. Willie Williams, the redshirt freshman. Now the ACC today, North Carolina leading their arch rival, North Carolina State. Boston College and Clemson are tied up in Death Valley. And coming up next, of course, the Georgia Tech-Virginia Tech game. Duke and Virginia later, and Maryland, Wake Forest. Now in the Big 12 quiet weekend, they moved the Texas A&M game to Thursday night because of Hurricane Rita. They came away with a win. Iowa State, that was a unexpected, very close game. Bobby Ross and his son doing an excellent job of coaching. And here it is, Ellis banging behind the left side, and that's a very good run on first down.
That is that old 2001 Power O football we saw at Colorado with Chris Brown. Remember that? Again, oh, could we forget it, right? Nebraska, they block down, they lead the fullback, they pull that guard around, and they run right at the speed. That's what I talked about when that 3rd and short before. Hard to run wide against Miami. You got to show them that you're willing to run the ball up the middle before you go wide.
Barnett in Colorado with 4 minutes here, trailing by 13. 2nd down. Charles checks back in. Here he comes. He's the shifty one. First down, looking for daylight, and he's to the 41-yard line where it will be 1st and 10. Rocky McIntosh making the stop on Charles, and Charles, a very elusive runner. He's only 5'8", folks, 185 pounds. In his first start against Colorado State, he rushed for better than 100 yards.
Watch Tipton, number 63, come around and seal the backside. Watch Tipton, gets out there and seals the linebacker. That's what made that play go. That's what those pulling gears. I think it's Maxey down out there, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It is.
Maxey with the interception. here in the first half. Well, college football on ABC is brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Polaroid, Outback Steakhouse, no rules, just right, and Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Brent, you know, you're talking about the Big 12 Conference. The Big 12 North, you know, up for grabs. You know, last year, the Big 12 North against the South, 3-15. All 3 wins were against Baylor. In fact, Colorado has lost 9 straight games to the South in the Big 12. That's the challenge for Colorado. Of course, win the North, but can they get up to that speed of that South with, well, Oklahoma isn't there, but Texas and Texas A&M.
Well, Maxey comes off the field. Let's take you back to the closing moments of the Pittsburgh game. We were down talking to the officials. The snap hits the Pittsburgh holder in the helmet, and then the field goal kicker threw it downfield. Everybody agrees that they should have called intentional grounding. There was no receiver downfield, and that the game should have ended right there. But unfortunately for Nebraska, they didn't lose it on that.
Unless there's a loophole when you bounce it off the the holder's helmet. That was intentional grounding.
First down and 10. Lots of weird things happened out at Lincoln last week, didn't they? Here's Joe Platt now on the handoff and dancing off to the left and stopped again because of Merriweather. Number 19, Gary, he's been all over that secondary.
He sure has. He cleans it up. But inside that time, Orion Harris, Brent, that's how you play defensive tackle if you're a guy inside in the Miami defense, because he blew the play up inside out.
You know, I talked about Charles, the 100 yards, the first 100-yard debut at Colorado since Brian Calhoun did it now. Dave Platty, he's the mother hen of everything that goes on at Colorado. He jumped all over me yesterday. He said that I said that Calhoun had transferred to Wisconsin because of the problems at Colorado. Not so. He said the coaches were going to switch him to wide receiver, and that's why.
Right. Okay.
So, Dave, I wanted to straighten that out. Second down now, and 12. Here comes Platt, dumping it in underneath. Not even close to a first down. Alvin Barnett was the receiver.
Let's go the play behind the play. Watch inside right here. Watch how that defensive tackle being unable to be blocked. He goes off, no reach block. He gets back in there. He doesn't get credit for the tackle, but forces the guy wide and allows Merriweather to come up and make the play. Sometimes the guy that doesn't make the tackle makes the play, and that was the play behind the play.
Penalty against the Buffaloes here. They're going to bring him back to near midfield. They've got 2:41. It would be huge for Colorado if they could get on the board, even with a long Crosby field goal. He missed one, in case you joined us. Colorado could have led in this game 3-0.
Right, but they've also managed to run 8 plays, 5 minutes off the clock, so at least something has been accomplished on this offensive series.
Second down, 18 yards for a first down. Platt. And again, this will put him back in third and manageable situation. Barnett, the wide receiver. Randy Phillips, one of the freshmen.
Oh, that was a win for Colorado right there. The Miami defense settled into a zone. Actually playing a little bit of a matchup in and out, and you gash him for enough to make it third and medium.
And in this situation, they could be missing Maxey, the Hurricanes. He has more experience. And our Pacific Life game summary here. Here's Klatt under enormous pressure, throwing as he is hit by Kareem Brown. And Maxey, who has been injured, coming up with the interception. And then Kyle Wright. He's got 83. And Centerus Moss into the end zone for the game's lone touchdown right now. So it is 13-0 as Miami with the touchdown and a pair of field goals. So I want to remind everybody again about the Monday night college game on ESPN2. Remember, we'll start at 7:30 Eastern, 5:30 out there along the Rocky Mountain front. And it's a good SEC game, Tennessee and LSU. We certainly hope that things were okay down in Baton Rouge. They were being whiplashed by the Rita winds earlier today as we left the hotel. And we wish nothing but the best to all those folks down in that Gulf area. They've suffered enough over the last few weeks. Gary?
And that Jamarcus Russell, who we saw when we went and did LSU in that co-national championship game, whatever it was. But Jamarcus Russell was a puppy then, and he's really coming into his own. Great talent, little patience, and he ends up being a good football player.
Well, if you were Gary Barnett here, would this be 2 downs to get a first down? If you fail here with 2 minutes to go, would you still want to punt and try to bury Miami back here?
No, not me. If I don't get it real close, I'm going to punt it back and try to go in. Miami's very confused. They're going to have to take a timeout. It's a good timeout for Miami.
Sure. No need taking them on into the locker room. You're up by 13. They had personnel problems. 2:04 remaining here, and timeouts left. Miami still has 2 and Colorado only 1.
I'm surprised that the officials there didn't give a chance for Miami to get settled. The offense has to, when they break their huddle on the sideline in these situations, has to give the defense time to find out what the personnel is and then play defense. It's an unfair advantage. You can look down on the field, a wide shot of Colorado bench. There's about 20 guys over in their huddle, and sportsmanship calls and the rules of the game calls for the defense to be allowed to line up.
Jack, at this point, it would be some 50 yards away for Crosby if they go to a field goal, but it's into the wind, isn't it?
Yeah, let me put my vote in there, because let's go back 1 year ago when Mason Crosby put up the longest field goal in college football record books for last season. Hit a 60-yarder in that Iowa State game, October 16th, 1 year ago. Helped the Bucs to a 1914 win. Now, the disclaimer, guys.
Yes.
It was in Folsom Field. It's a little more humid here.
Humid? A little less altitude.
He hit a 57-yarder during pregame warm-ups when I was standing down there, but he just nailed this one with plenty of room. But I am going to point out that the little breeze here was at his back when he attempted that during the pregame warm-ups. He's a kicker. He warmed up with his golf clubs last week. He told me out in Boulder. He does
about
that.
40 shots, right?
Yeah, he said it's uses his wedge to his driver, so he empties the bag.
Well,
so
I wish I
here's
could
3rd
sell
down.
that.
Here's Klatt, rolls the pocket. He's going to throw back on that screen pass. Not going to fool anybody. They're going to give yards up. You got to be careful with a slow developing play against the speed of Miami, Gary.
Absolutely. Kareem Brown, the defensive tackle, number 99, just snuffed this play out. It was an unbalanced line, one of those trick 'em plays. But in here, you watch them, everything goes one way, and Kareem Brown, number 99, right in the middle there, kind of senses something, gets back, and is in the middle of the play. What a great defensive stand by Miami on a trick 'em play from Gary Barnett.
And Barnett says, no, we won't attempt this field goal. We'll have Torp try to bury the Canes inside the 20 with 1:19 to go. Hangs it high, and Hessler's going to let this one go. Colorado going to down it right down there by the 1 or 2 yard line. So John Torp, average 52.14, has nailed another one inside the 20. Coming up next, of course, the Ty Willingham Bowl, Notre Dame, Washington, out in Seattle. And those of you in the East, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech. Gary, how good is Virginia Tech?
They were my team. I've been touting them all along. If you don't get them early with Marcus Vick, I think they've got 4 receivers, 2 tight ends, and 2 running backs. Their skill players are as good as anyone in the country. Brent, you're going to hurt Colorado a little bit. They've used 2 timeouts. Miami should be able to run the clock out and get out of this half. That's why those timeouts are valuable at the end of the half. Quarterback sneak here.
Yeah, Miami just simply empties the backfield for right. And,
get lower, Kyle.
There's
get
a penalty
lower.
flag thrown on the far side.
It probably was an illegal formation.
Offsides defense, number 51.
Boy. That's the
lined
third.
up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Ligon jumped in there. Alex Ligon moved too quickly.
That's the third of the game for Colorado, lining up in the neutral zone. Still with a 13-0 game, minute to go. If I was Miami, I'd just run this half out.
You know, there's one very positive note for the Miami offensive line. They have not been sacked yet today. The only sack in the game was registered by the Canes.
They're just going to take a knee now.
So they'll take this 13-0 lead on into the locker room.
Another penalty.
Looking at some of the numbers, the star of the first half, the star of stars, was Cineris Moss. 5 catches.
Offsides defense, number 53, lined up in the neutral zone. 5 yards, and the penalty yardage is enough for a first down.
Yeah, it's call of the weekend here.
5 for 111 yards for Cineris Moss and 1 touchdown. Wright was 12 of 23 for 165 yards, and that 1 score, did not throw an interception. Joe Klatt threw the only interception. Maxey picked it off, and he's been hurt. Charles, with 61 yards rushing, led Colorado here in the first half. Moss ran for only 27 yards, and that 31 carries, triple overtime up at Clemson. I dare say had to take something out of it. And, so here's the old prevent offense, and they'll just simply run the clock out right now. And it'll be 13-0 with John Saunders will be coming up. Cannot believe that some of these fans are booing. They want to see teams try to take it 90 yards all the time, but why? You know. So here we go. Kyle Wright and the Canes. And coming up next, you'll be able to check in with all the scores and highlights with John and the gang. It's muggy in South Florida, and it's getting real hot around the collar for Colorado. They are being shut out. So, Gary Danielson, what's out of whack in this game?
Well, you mentioned the sacks, of course, but I think it's third down. When Colorado's offense is working, as you can see the previous 2 games, they make first downs. That's always been the MO of a Gary Barnett team, and today they can't keep the ball.
Maybe the first to promote the FedEx Orange Bowl. But can Colorado find a way to jump back in this, Gary?
Well, I think they're going to have to do it quickly, because I think as the game wears down and they wear down, they're going to start feeling it. So this third quarter is going to be huge with them. They don't have great speed at the wide receivers, and Miami is really crowding them.
Well, let's go down below and check in with Jack.
Well, Gary, you're absolutely right. Gary Barnett recognizes the fact that he's got to get out in this first series, and he's challenged his team, the offense, to put points on the board in this first possession. He also talked about the miscues, the penalties, extremely upset by the sloppy play. He said maybe the heat. I asked him about that. He said, no, it's just a lack of focus. We'll have to wait and see. This first series, though, he said, is absolutely critical.
And Joe Klatt over there, Jack, stalking the sideline, ready to come back. Hope he gets some decent field position here with Brian Monroe, the Canes left-footed punter.
And this is where the senior leadership can help a football team. You see Joel Klatt walking around. He knows he's got to find some big plays because they're not making the little plays right now.
So Stephon Robinson, who tried to go, is off as a return man, and Jarrett Burrell is back with Washington for the Buffaloes. Washington from the 2. Hester can't bring him down, but he slowed him up. And he is stopped inside the 10-yard line on a kickoff. Willie Williams, the freshman, cleaning up. Our Pacific Life game summary stats from the first half, and in yards, Miami with 214, Gary, and Colorado 142.
Well, there it is. Down here, the sacks. Not a lot has happened there, but both teams have been playing a little conservative, rolling their quarterback both ways to try to avoid the pass rush. It has kind of shut down the passing games. The big one to Moss was from the pocket. I think Colorado has to throw the ball from the pocket and challenge that offensive line to protect Joel Klatt.
There's a handoff, not much doing, and we asked Gary Barnett what Klatt must do against this Miami defense.
He's got to use all of his playmakers, and he's got to get rid of the ball. He can't take sacks. He's got to get us in the right protection. We've got a number of blitz checks built in. He's got to get us to that, and then he's just got to throw. He's got to be accurate in his throwing.
Well, here he is, and what he has done, and they have moved that pocket left and right. He's 9 of 14, but for only 71 yards and that 1 interception. So it has been a struggle with the passing game for the Buffaloes, and he cannot get Kloffenstein, his talented tight end, involved in the passing game yet. And Miami jumps the running game again. Amazing that Charles kept on going. And what about Klatt? Was he injured, Jack, in that first half?
Well, Brent, I had a chance to talk with him after he came out of the locker room, and he admitted that not only did he get his bell rung, but as we documented, the toe having a problem with his right toe. He said, Jack, I've got so much tape on that toe now, as Gary pointed out so appropriately, because I'm having trouble feeling it, and that's so important, Gary, I would think, when you're a quarterback throwing the ball. So he's a little bit concerned in this second half about the effect, not of the toe hurting, but the amount of tape they put on the toe to cure the hurt.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Penalties offset, the down counts.
And it's kind of ganging up on the quarterback, Joel Klatt, right now. Receivers can't get deep, doesn't have a lot of time in the pocket, and he's not shifting his weight from his back foot, the foot that's hurt, his right toe, forward. So it's kind of building on him as this game goes along.
3rd and 7.
He's got a true freshman corner to kind of pick on, Randy Phillips down here. Let's see if they can get to him because Maxey has not returned.
There are 2 freshmen in that secondary. The roll, the throw in that direction, and then first down.
What a
coming
great
out at
throw.
the freshman corner. Merriweather finally coming over to help out on the play as Evan Judge picks up the first down on a pass from Klatt.
Rocky McIntosh, number 50, reads these plays, these rollouts. Watch him hit the quarterback. Actually didn't hit him that hard. It was a good pull-off by McIntosh, but you see Klatt favoring that toe again. He came up limping even worse than the time before. Again, lack of confidence in the pocket by the play caller, rolled him out.
Let me check myself. That was Dusty Sprague who made that catch that time, and not Judge. Both were over there on that side. First down and 10. Toss play to Charles. Little Rascal makes the most out of it with John Beeson, number 2, that Will linebacker, finally bringing him down.
You know, Randy Shannon, the great defensive coordinator, for Miami, we asked him, how do you rotate your linebackers? I know your defensive line, you play all 8, but what do you do at linebacker? He goes, I go with anybody that's hot. If I got a hot linebacker making some plays, I just keep rolling them in there. Right now, these guys, Beeson and McIntosh, they're hot. And there you see Randy right there. That's the big guy calling those plays.
Up in the Canes booth. Second down, 10 for Colorado. And underneath and running room for the first down. Barnett picks up another first down. He was all alone underneath that time.
Sure was, and that's one of those crisscross patterns that the linebackers did not communicate. Somebody kind of moved the guy off, tried to maybe grab a crossing route and forgot the one coming the opposite direction. This is the drive Colorado needed to stay in the football game. First drive of the 3rd quarter. Klatt continues to limp more and more during this drive.
Ball is at the Colorado 41-yard line. Judge and Williams out to the left. Charles with daylight again. And a first down as he comes crashing across midfield to the 47-yard line, and Kelly Jennings forced to make the stop. Brown checks into that defensive line right now, but the Buffaloes are on the move here.
Well, great job by number 17, Lawrence Vickers, right here. He's going to get this end man on the line of scrimmage. The linebacker, you saw it, McIntosh was attacking that play, and Vickers cleaned him up to run that ball off tackle. Now that's that Colorado offense that we've seen in the past. When they're humming, when they're making first downs, now all of a sudden, is there a play-action pass available to make a big play?
So again, 2 freshmen, both named Phillips in that secondary. Here's the toss now to Charles. And Merriweather came up hard to force that play from his safety spot. Brandon Merriweather making the play.
Isn't that amazing? Merriweather, Kenny Phillips, Riddick. They even got Greg Threet, who's not playing this game, that played a lot of football last year. 4 guys that are really substantial college football players at the safety.
10 tackles today for him. Riddick, of course, is out for the season. We were there in Tallahassee when he tore up the ACL. Second down. Zipnewski to the left side of the formation. Klopfenstein goes in motion to the left also. Ellis now the running back on second down, and the whistle prior to the snap.
Klatt's toe gave way on his drop on that one. When he set it, he just stumbled.
5 yards, second down.
It's his right toe, and when he dropped and tried to set there, it just gave way, and he had to throw it on one foot. Watch what he drops. 1, 2, 3. He plants. Oh, see, he's got no real feel in that toe, and that's why it kind of went over the top that time.
So with the penalty, that'll move the ball back inside the 45-yard line.
He's being a trooper, staying in there, fighting it off. Senior leadership.
The junior James Cox is the backup over there for Gary Barnett. On the headset. Second down and needs 18. Ellis almost to midfield, but this will be third down and long. And John, what's happening with Purdue and Minnesota?
Well, Brent, as you know, Purdue doesn't have to face Michigan or Ohio State, so they can't afford to lose to Minnesota, even though the Golden Gophers are off to a good start. Corey Sheets takes the pitch and then weaves his way 88 yards, gets it down to the 2-yard line, and would set up a Purdue touchdown as they get within 3. Now a 17-14 lead for the Golden Gophers. Brent.
John, and Purdue was an underdog in that game, surprising to some, but they were a 3-point underdog. Third down, throws in underneath, and this will be fourth and long. Nothing doing on that play, and Kenny Phillips, the freshman safety who has a very promising future. Shades of Sean Taylor, shades of Ed Reed back there in that defensive backfield. He's a little combination of both of them, the players on this team say, and this will be fourth down, and Torp will punt it away, Garrett.
You can see the style of defense. Miami is turning their safeties loose on the crossing routes from the tight ends. That means the two corners are playing man-to-man all over the field, and Colorado can't get the ball deep.
Hester has been more patient here in this game than he was against Florida State in the opener. Torp booms it up into the South Florida sky. And this one's going to be down.
Great
what a
punch.
leg.
Jeez.
At the 6-yard line. Talk about hang time. Well, coming up, Kyle White and that Miami offense. Can he keep it going? He's got one long touchdown pass to Moss. John Torp keeping Colorado in this game, and opponents have started 22 of 36 drives inside their own 20. That is an amazing statistic, and here today averaging better than 47.
I think if you're Mike Hakowitz, defensive coordinator for Colorado right now, you sell to your defense that you can produce points if you get a 3-and-out right now. They're going to try to run it right down your throat, Buffs. Can you stop them? You stop them, we'll get good field position. You can score points with a stop.
So Kyle Wright from Danville, California, Monte Vista High School, hands it off to Moss, and let's meet Kyle right up close.
My favorite pro sports team is the San Francisco Giants. My favorite movie is Godfather 1 and 2. When I was a kid, I used to pretend to be John Elway. My favorite food is like anybody, a nice, good steak.
How about those folks out in Colorado when he mentions John Elway? You say, how come we didn't recruit him to Colorado if he likes Elway? So, second down and 7 for Wright and the Canes. There's a play fake. He's going to go deep again. Here's Moss.
Perfect throw. Perfect throw. That's how you throw the ball. Tough to catch. That's a tough catch right over your helmet like that. Outside shoulder, 50 yards downfield. You know, you hope to get these one-on-one coverage. It's a great call. Gets him by. Look, he tries to whack his arm away. Now he adjusts to the ball. The ball should be thrown 5 yards from the sideline. That's exactly where it is. That could have been a big play by Moss. You don't call it a drop ball. You just call it could have been ball.
He's had such a good day. We aren't going to jump on for that.
That's not a drop. That's not a drop.
Third down and 7.
Everybody did their job there.
Kyle Wright will see if he can pick up the first down. Does not. Miami will have to punt it back to Colorado.
That's a great 3-and-out for this Colorado defense.
Tight end Olsen could not get past the first down marker.
You see Joel.
So now Brian Monroe
looks like
on to punt. And remember, he's had one blocked.
Looks like he's getting cool air shoved into his shoulder pads down there.
Jack, send that gizmo up.
Yeah.
Buffaloes were coming this time. Fair catch. And the catch is made by Stephon Robinson, who's back on the field, but decent field position. On their own 40-yard line for the Buffaloes. They're still scoreless, though. Can they finally move against this D? Welcome back to South Florida. Miami on a hot, muggy Saturday afternoon. The ever-expanding skyline, the gateway to Latin and Central America. And Buffalo's come out, and we got a brand new defensive back. He's played a little of everything. Number 4, Devin Hester, has checked in at left corner right there. So he's been a running back today. He's been a return man. And now Randy Shannon says, take a few snaps there instead of young Phillips. They're rolling in that direction. Klatt's going to fire, intercepted, picked off at midfield by Brandon Merriweather. The second interception of a Klatt pass, the first by Merriweather, who has had a monstrous game for Randy Shannon.
Colorado should know better. This is what Miami is doing. They're playing man-to-man to the outside, and their safeties are trumping everything across the field. Whether it's a wide receiver or a tight end, anybody that goes across the field, the free safety's coming out of center field and jumping the crossing routes. Great play by Merriweather.
Now the Miami offense has frustrated many of its fans here because they can't finish drives. They will start at the Colorado 41. And let's see if Kyle Wright, Tyrone Moss, and the rest of them can march on down this time. They've had every opportunity imaginable here today. Blitz look from Colorado. Here comes Moss. And he is tackled at the 37-yard line. And a reminder, of course, second game of our doubleheader. Most of you will see Notre Dame against Washington. And those of you in ACC country, Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech now, remember, is in the same ACC division as Miami. So that game in Blacksburg in November just shapes up to be huge. Florida State is over in the other bracket, if you will, and the winners of the two divisions will meet in an ACC championship game in Jacksonville in December. Right on a play fake, Ortega, 25, Ortega inside the 15. Normally when they go to a tight end, they go to Greg Olsen. Ortega is the H-back. And upstairs, Warner noticed they were letting Ortega run free. And they said, all right, let's give it to him. And it's 23 yards.
There's Ortega. He's going to sneak under right here on the play-action pass. Watch him. He's the back. He comes. He sneaks back in. The H-back in motion. Little Joe Gibbs offense right there. Get the ball to the H-back and get him in space.
First down and 10 for Wright in the cane.
Here's this big unbalanced line to the left side, to the bottom of the screen.
Right on the roll, hard to the left. Receiver's going to throw it out of the back of the end zone. He looked downfield, and Akeem Jala was covered in the end zone. And he threw it out. And, John, are the Spartans still rolling down in Champaign, my friend?
Brent, they are indeed. In the singular All-America Player of the Week update might be Drew Stanton. The reason why: 5 touchdown passes, 233 yards already. They're in the third quarter. Text the word VOTE to 87654 now on your singular phone for your ballot and a chance to win a trip to the national championship. Brent, back to you.
John, looking forward to seeing the Spartans at home against Michigan. It was a great game a year ago in Ann Arbor. We'll be up there next Saturday. That'll be a noon start. There's a short drop, deflected, and Moore catches it. So with the ball deflected, number 85, Ryan Moore, made the grab, but he was down immediately.
Yeah, Alex Liga on that time is the guy who got it up defensive end. Eric Winston did not get his block. That's his job, to get that defensive end's hands down on the play. And Liga got up and deflected. That's about the third or fourth deflection on a short pass today so far in this football game.
Third down and 12, and if Miami is unable to pick it up. It'll be Petty time again. So red zone offense has been a problem here as far as touchdowns are concerned for Miami.
There's Olsen right there.
They blitz him and they set the screen, and it's dropped by Hill. The perfect call. He had the convoy out in front, and the white shirts were on the inside. That could have gone for 6, folks.
It could have gone for 26 and whatever you wanted to.
Here's Petty to kick it, Gary.
That looked like the other lane of traffic on those people leaving Houston. Everybody was on one side and nobody was on that side.
So John Rochford with a snap. And he's kicked his 3rd field goal of the afternoon. And it's 16-0 here with 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Colorado will try again. 16-0 Miami shutting out Colorado. They came into this game favored by 14. 6:07 to go in the 3rd quarter. And with Jack Arute, Gary Danielson, I'm Brent Musburger. Colorado had a scoring opportunity the first time they handled the football, missed a field goal. Very unusual because they've got such a solid kicking game. And they've been unable to get on the scoreboard. Monroe kicks it very high. Here comes the coverage. Fielding on the 4-yard line, breaking free to the outside and out of bounds at the 28-yard line. And that Jack Arute, Gary, he's one cool character.
Well, not yet, but you know, Gary was talking about Joel Klatt having something hooked up to his back. It's a system that was pioneered by Colorado and engineered by Nike. It's quite simply a cold air system. They wear these vests, and the cold air circulates around their chest. All the players here in Colorado are using them to try and combat this oppressive heat. Right now, the temperature, a whopping 97 degrees. I love it.
That thing looks like it sound like Donald Duck by the end of the game. Huh?
That's a pretty good idea, though. I'll bet, you know.
It's not doing much good.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
First down and 10.
Maybe it'd be worse. Who knows?
For Klatt and Colorado.
Plug it in.
There's Charles to the 32-yard line.
You know, Brent, we always talk about Miami's great athletes. Oh, what a great physical play. But when we asked Randy Shanahan, what do the defense have to do the best? And he says, do their assignments, play smart football. And when you watch this defense, they don't make a lot of dumb plays. They know where to line up. They make smart football plays. They follow the game plan. They are very well coached athletes. And I think that's because there's a lot of competition. If you don't do your job, somebody else is on the field right out behind you.
Hester stays on the field as a corner. Merriweather comes over to take the slot.
Look at that speed.
And the pressure will allow them to do nothing as Javon Nanton, number 57. He's battled some injuries there. One-time walk-on athlete at Miami. Earned himself a scholarship. Ran that play down. Oh,
hey, Brent, it works.
You're gorgeous.
I got to tell you, and you don't sound like a duck.
Hey, Jack, you wear those under your shirts and sport coats, you might have gone out, because they had good bills, you know, when you go out at night. There you go. I am buffed.
Third down.
Makes even Jack look like he has a good body.
Klatt from the shotgun. They're on him again. Just not much mobility. Nursing that foot injury.
I think so too.
And Campbell applied the pressure. You see Klatt being helped up by the referee. So Bible gives him some assistance. He knows the kind of pain that Klatt is enduring back here.
I know they want to stay very loyal to their senior quarterback, but I'm not so sure that right now Joel Klatt just can't get it done. Against this defense, their speed, I'm wondering if they have anyone else. And James Cox, who's supposed to be a little more mobile, could be the guy.
We've got a penalty flag thrown.
Sideline huddle with 12 players. 5 yards, 4th down.
So that cost Torp another 5 yards, and they huddle with 12, and Barnett can't believe it with his punting team out on the field. Are you kidding me?
A lot of self-inflicted wounds by Colorado.
Yeah, I don't blame him for that.
You know, that's what the heat does to you, though, sometimes. You lose your concentration.
And the umpire, he just lost his concentration. Took a tumble, but he's okay. So it's Torp against Hessler again. Hessler would love to try and return one of them, and this could be his opportunity. But the coaches have warned him, don't touch the bouncing football. Don't try to do what you did in Tallahassee. And let's say, oh, he really wanted a piece of this one. College football now on ABC is brought to you by Chevy, the new Chevrolets and American Revolution. Tommy Hilfiger, defining fresh American style. And Allstate, a proud sponsor of the Bowl Championship Series. Well, right now, considering all the rankings and ratings and what everybody's saying, USC and Texas could be on track for a blockbuster out in the Rose Bowl. Still long ways to go. USC's got to play Oregon today on the road, and then next week another road game down at Arizona State. Texas, of course, they've still got to get past Oklahoma. Even though they appear to be a much better team this year, they still have to bury that demon. And Wright is on the run, threw it low on the skip. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Pressure was applied by Ligon that time. He put number 3 on the run.
Ligon's had a nice football game in this game. He's up against some pretty good tackles. He's matched up and did a good job. Won some linebackers, taking on those big guys. Miami's only run the ball for 56 yards in this football game. They've not been able to push this Colorado defense around.
Base 4 down lineman, and they're blitzing again. And this time, Hill steps over and picks up the first 10, breaks into the open. He'll be taken down inside the 30-yard line by J.J. Billingsley.
A lot of coaches love running backs that cut on 2 feet. Watch Quatron Hill right here on this play. He gets the zone, the draw play. Now watch him 2 foot, jump with 2 feet from one angle to the next hole. That's a great cut by a running back. Coaches love running backs that keep both feet on the ground and can cut those 2 foot cuts.
So that's 38 yards, and it moves Miami to 94 total yards rushing on the biggest running play of the game. 4 deep. In underneath and in complete. So this time they send him out, and that's the 2nd time he hasn't come through as a pass receiver. And our IBM Star Watch here, Joe.
Well, it's been a day that Cineris Moss has made the big plays, caught the long touchdown play, and made 2 other real nice high grabs. One on the sideline and one right down the seam. Moss has been the go-to guy for the big plays for Miami.
2nd down and 10. Spotted inside the 30-yard line. High and incomplete. If I have to make one little observation on Kyle Wright, he does throw the ball high as a general rule. You mentioned Moss going up in the air and grabbing 2. And guys going over the middle, Gary.
Well,
they don't like that high ball.
I don't know. Maybe I saw it. You know, it was a high ball. There was linebackers there, but Ryan Moore only stuck up one hand trying to catch the football. You're going to get hit anyway, and I think you got to go up to. If I was a quarterback and in films, if I was a coach, I'd say, listen, Ryan, it can't all be perfect. Go up with 2 hands. You're going to get hit anyway.
3rd down and 10. Spoken like a true former quarterback, folks. Here's Wright. Is jammed into his own lineman, and this will be Petty attempting a long field goal, and at the end of the game we'll select the Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Three of 4 today, and this would be his longest. The 44-yarder. And it would be his longest of the season, and he pulled it badly. It's no good. So Gary Barnett and Colorado trail it by 16 with a timeout. Colorado has held off Miami, kept them out of the end zone except for 1 long touchdown pass. But here on offense, they've been unable to do anything about it as the ball was being juggled as they came to the line that time. And you had to put your finger on one thing. Fenton and the offensive line are trying to do all they can down there, but they just haven't had any wide receivers separate from the Miami secondary so that they can go up on top for a big play. And Kloffenstein has been bottled up. Sibnewski has 1 catch for 18 yards. And let me check with George Hill. Has Kloffenstein caught anything here today? Did he catch 1 earlier? Nothing. So he's got the goose egg.
Thrown at even in the football game.
That short drop caught, first down, and they get it done that time by putting it in Ellis's hands. Ellis, the running back. And coming up after the game, the thrifty post game. There's Kloffenstein, big number 89, and the Canes. Randy Shannon has schemed him beautifully in this game and has kept him out of the flow of things. The 2 tight ends have been unable to keep this ball moving. And you can move the chains a lot with your tight ends, but that has not been the case here today against this Miami defense. You see the 4 down linemen. The linebackers are off for Miami. And they bring Ellis back as a running back, and he powers across the 45-yard line close to another first down with Leon Williams stopping him.
With Vickers lined up as a wide receiver, Miami got confused in their defensive alignment. This is going to be the cornerback right there in the middle of the screen. Well, my thing is stuck here. We got a little heat going on the telestrator here. How about this? Get that check off there.
Well, you did a good quarterback. Stayed with it. He's going to get you one of those vests from Jack.
Look at this. We got to put some ice, put our telestrator on ice because now it's frozen up.
2nd down. Ellis banging close to the yellow line. This will be 3rd down here. Nanton again defensively.
That's what I need.
Coming up on the final minute of the 3rd quarter. Defensively, the star of this game has been number 19, Brandon Merriweather of the Canes. He's made several big hits. One of their 2 interceptions here today. This is 3rd down and short. The crowd alive. First down, Colorado at midfield.
That's how you run the ball on 3rd down. You don't go wide. You go right at that off tackle, A gap, B gap type off tackle play. Make first downs and get a turnaround. Watch it. Power O, right behind the big old tight end, following the fullback. Backside guard comes, you stick it right up on those fast guys.
Hester continues at left corner in this game. Merriweather and freshman Kenny Phillips are the safeties.
Boy,
there's Devin.
Colorado took a timeout right there.
So they have used the first time out here in the 2nd half. We'll find out if they can keep it going from midfield when we come back. Well, with the play clock running down, a timeout was called here. And they are in 1st and 10 at midfield with 11 seconds remaining. That's all here in the 3rd quarter. Talking about field position, Miami has certainly held its own. The average starting field position in this game for both teams, the 27-yard line. So despite Torp's outstanding punting, the Miami punting has been good. And on the time of possession, Gary, Colorado actually has possessed the football for 25 minutes, and Miami for only 18.
Well, also what turned that field position around is the 2 turnovers that Colorado's had. To get good field position in those 2 turnovers. That helps your average field position also.
And so far, Miami has not turned it over, and nor have they given up a sack. So Art Kehoe has to be very, very pleased with his offensive line so far in this game. Colorado trails it by 16, 11 seconds to go. Vickers coming through the formation. Play fake. Gonna throw. Juggled in. Complete. And Kloffenstein was the intended target that time, and he got ripped by Kenny Phillips.
He did, but he dropped the ball, and that gave time for Phillips to come over and get the hit and clean it up. If he'd have caught it the first time, Phillips would not have had a time. Watch. Catches it, bobbles it, And then here comes Phillips to clean it up and make sure he can't catch it the second time. Got to make those plays against Miami. You don't have a lot of chances. Perfectly thrown ball.
We see that Tyler Columbus, 6'8", 280-pound sophomore. Coach Barnett hoping to get some snaps out of him in that offensive line. They've had to rework it. Brian Daniels with that bruised kidney can't play. They're hopeful they have him back next week and ready for the Big 12 campaign. Ellis, nothing doing, and Klatt went down on that play. As he handed it off, Klatt went down, and we've come to the end of the third quarter. Well, defensively, we mentioned it. Number 19 has been all over the field, and he has one of their 2 interceptions. Miami 16, Colorado nothing. The money quarter is coming up. Miami's home opener, and they've been tough over the last decade. 8 years ago, Arizona State beat them here in their home opener, but today they're pitching a shutout against Colorado, 16-0. And we prepare to start the fourth quarter. Buffalo's with the football on their own 46-yard line. This is a 3rd down and long. Klatt in underneath, well short. And it was even dropped, and well, the umpire says he's down right there on the catch. You know, you and I both think Gary Barnett is an excellent football coach, no question about it. But in a way, he's under the gun. There have been problems out there. Chancellors, presidents, athletic directors have gone. What's your take on Coach Barnett's future here?
Well, if you look at the Big 12 North, only 3 teams have ever won that division. Nebraska, Colorado, and Kansas State. In the 10 years, 3, 3, and 3. Those are the only 3 schools that have ever won. Not bad.
Right.
You know.
Torp.
Boy, is he something.
And
that's 3 of them,
ball
isn't
down
it?
inside the 10-yard line. He's amazing,
He's something,
punter.
boy.
He's been their MVP today. And college football on ABC brought to you by Cadillac and the STS with available performance-tuned all-wheel drive breakthrough. Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, one taste and you get it. And Valvoline Motor Oil, the #1 choice of top mechanics everywhere.
The Colorado defense has done a nice job with a hot quarterback, Kyle Wright. He was going pretty well. Now he's 15 for 32. He has cooled off considerably from where he started off. Oh, illegal formation by Colorado. Boy, that's 5 of those today. And that's what Gary Barnett's teams don't usually do. When you're an underdog, and you mentioned those years at Northwestern when he knocked off Michigan and Wisconsin, his teams didn't make mistakes like this. They're confused again. They only have 10 guys. Here comes number 11. All right. He didn't know there was a penalty on the play.
So Torp will stand at about the 31-yard line. Devin Hester.
Another one.
And this one goes into the end zone.
Wow.
Well, they pick up a few yards on that penalty. Torp has got some powerful leg. And now right at the Miami offense after that 53-yarder goes into the end zone. And let's check. Let's have Brian Mobilson, our spotter, check when the last time was that Colorado under Barnett was shut out.
I don't even have to have him check. 199 straight games Colorado has gone.
He already slipped you that note.
No, he didn't.
Oh, okay.
I do my homework. When you guys were out on South Beach, I was in my room studying that night. How was South Beach? Good?
It was great. And here comes Moss for 4 yards. We check in with Jack.
Hey, Brent, we're watching the maturity underway for the quarterback for the Miami Hurricanes, Kyle Wright. But as we watch that, one place that he's already mature, would you believe, in the kitchen. He admits that his one passion outside of football is cooking. And when I told Larry Coker about that, deadpan Coker said to me, Jack, we got to get him a girlfriend.
Second down.
He doesn't need a girlfriend. He's playing quarterback in Miami. That's hard enough.
There's a play fake.
Get rid of it. There you go.
And he will.
Good play. Well,
And,
all right. A little feisty over there. Washington
end of the
goes.
play.
Yeah, that's the way it is. That's the way it is in college football. Kyle, quit crying. It's college football. You roll out like that, big linebackers come and hit you. Your linebackers have been hitting our guy all day. I'm going to run you down and put you on the ground. That's a good play. It was at the end of it that I see. See, he fell on his legs right there. And does he give him a little something?
Keep an eye on this
Let's
at the end.
see. Does he give him something? Well, he was just using him to get up. I like that. Kyle Wright, he had a big block last week also to show his teammates that he was tough and ready to play.
Yeah. Stood up for himself. I mean,
Yep, I like that.
The linebacker was giving him the business a little bit, folks. Third down, the right tackle may have moved. No flag. Right. Incomplete. He tried to force it to Jala, and not giving ground was Sims. Sims was beaten for a touchdown. Let's go back on that block that Gary told you about. This is an illegal play. Hester on a toss cuts back, and watch number 3 deliver the blow. Now there was ineligible receiver downfield on it, so it came back. But the thing that the point they made to Wright was, do not be leading with your right shoulder. You're our quarterback. You have to do it with your left shoulder. It's okay. And Monroe's punt is going to give Colorado excellent field. So if ever there was a chance for the Buffaloes to strike, down by 16 points right now after a 21-yard punt, this is it. Can Colorado finally put something on the scoreboard? We'll find out. Little Swagger is back with the Hurricane defense here today, pitching a shutout against Colorado. And now we'll see what they can do as the Buffaloes come out with 45 yards in Miami territory to go to the end zone. They missed a field goal very early, in case you weren't with us, and they really have not had a serious scoring threat. They had a first and goal at the 7-yard line and came away scoreless on their first drive of the game. Klatt has been battling pain all game long. Takes off this time and picks up about 5 yards. There's no problem, Gary. He is really having trouble with his foot.
He's tough. It happened in the first quarter on a screen pass. He got hit, got his bell rung, and sprained his toe. That was the next play. He stumbled, and then all game since then, he has not had good fielding and good push with his foot. Look at his right leg come out again, and he's been a warrior with it. He is tied for the NCAA lead for fourth quarter comeback with 8, and he's tied with Clemson's Charlie Whitehurst.
And Whitehurst almost had another one last week. Second down. He did force the game into overtime with a field goal, but they could have easily won that game. And a second down, you would think now trailing by 16. This is 4 down territory for Colorado. Incomplete, and Hester was draped all over Barnett. And John, what's happening with Alabama and Arkansas?
Well, Coach Shula obviously has it going this year. Tim Castile here for the touchdown from a yard out as Alabama opens up their lead over Arkansas at 17-3. The Razorbacks, remember, still stinging from last week facing USC. Brent, back to you.
Watch Alabama. They play LSU, Tennessee, and Florida at home.
Absolutely. Now it's third down for Klatt and Colorado. Slants deflected, could be intercepted.
I thought it was interference by Hester that time.
Merriweather, and they wave it off.
Yeah, I thought Hester got to him a little bit early that time.
It was very close, and Brandon Merriweather shaken up as he comes out of that with his wrist as he dove in there off the deflection, looking for the pick on that play.
Good changeup by Sean Watson from Colorado, putting Klatt in
try a long
shotgun.
Field goal, I believe. They're going to try to get on the scoreboard with Mason Crosby.
And Miami's going to play it safe. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't punt this also.
Holes, it's a 58-yarder. He's on the right hash. Bangs it.
Gosh.
Got it.
Oh my
Got
goodness.
it. Mason Crosby.
And
who had kicked a 60-yarder, the Jackaroot, showed you. I believe that is about his 5th 50-yarder. We'll check that. It's either 5 or 6 that he has nailed. You talk about a leg.
My goodness.
And Colorado is finally on the board. Mason Crosby just hit his 6th 50-yard field goal. The young man grew up in Texas. His father was a fullback at Texas El Paso. And coming in here, he hit about 60 golf balls to get ready.
Miami needs to be aware here. This is what Gary Barnett likes to do, his onside kick. Miami must be alert. This is when you try to win a game. Barnett is very good at stealing this type of game.
He kicked it off 87 yards once against Iowa State, Gary, after a penalty and moved it back to the 20. Ball is on the 35. There's 11:57 to go. It's a 13-point game. And Barnett elects to take it deep and let him bring it out of the 20-yard line. Little wrestling going on as we come to the top of the hour. 1 o'clock. Out along the Rocky Mountain front out there with Gary Danielson and Jack Arute. I'm Brett Musburger. So our young man Crosby has just tied the longest field goal ever made against the Hurricanes with that rocket. But the one thing the scouts noticed about him is how deep he can take his kickoffs on into the end zone. Sebastian Janikowski of Florida State was the last first-round kicker. And this young man is a junior. And there's a flag on this play. There's no question about that. Our Pacific Life game summary here today. And Joel Klatt, foot injury, hit by Brown in the pocket. Kyle Wright had that one beautiful touchdown pass to Centerus Moss. Beat the corner. And Merriweather, the star of stars on defense, with one of 2 interceptions. Klatt came into this game with a ratio of 2-1, and now it has gone 2-3 as he's been unable to throw a touchdown.
In Colorado's big victory over Colorado State, they had 4 fourth-quarter interceptions. They need 1 very badly in this football game.
Gave up 5 yards, made it much easier here. And first down for Miami. Lance Leggett, the struggling sophomore wideout, injured foot and all, trying to get something going. He's a burner, and Colorado has to respect that great deep speed.
I like the Miami quick passing game. It's going to force Colorado to move up, and then that's when the big plays happen.
Play fake. Coming to the sideline, complete, and they hit the young man again at the 46-yard line. Put the ball back in Leggett's hands, and he'll take himself out right now. That's 21 yards. He comes to the sideline. Jala replaces him. Hill comes in at fullback.
So you do a quick pass, then you run a post corner. Good pitch and catch that time. Leggett is not running freely. I know he feels he's 100%. He forego that, prescribed surgery that he's playing with, and he's not 100%.
Here's the blitz. So the quick hitch to the outside. And close to a first down, Darnell Jenkins. And let's check in with John back in New York.
Brent, Purdue trailed throughout against Minnesota until Brandon Kershker goes 8 yards to Andre Chathams. Extra points. Purdue grabs the lead, and then an interception return for a touchdown. Now with just under 6 remaining in the game, Purdue up by 8. Brent.
And John, we had a personal foul called here against Miami, and this is going to be brought back. So that is nullified. The ball brought clear back on the other side of the 50-yard line.
Right in the middle of your screen right there. Guy's grabbing her face mask, and then right at the end, a big swat by Tyler McMeans.
That's only the second penalty of the game for Miami, both personal fouls.
And because it was after the play, it's going to be 2nd and 16.
Kyle Wright. Deep middle, and he's got his tight end Ortega again. Well, we came in raving about 82, and it looks like there's now a personal foul against Colorado for roughing the quarterback. So a 21-yard gain, and there's going to be more tacked on.
There's the four seams route. You read the safety in the middle. Whichever way he goes, you got the seam the other way. It's called four vertical. Everyone's running right now. You send your two tight ends down the middle of the field. You throw the football, and you can see the late hit. That was an obvious one. Washington pushes them after the play. All right, now look at this. You go right down here. You go right down here, and then two outside goes, four vertical, and you read the man right in the middle of the field. Not a very good block by Quatron Hill. He kind of dives at him. You read the middle safety, throw the ball right at your big tight end, and that's a huge play.
Into the red zone, the Canes go. They've only got one touchdown today. Moss stopped by the middle of the Colorado defense. Tyrone Moss been in and out of the backfield. Time coming down toward the 10-minute mark. Miami leads it by 13.
It was an impressive drive by Kyle Wright. Answered the bell with the field goal. It got less than 16 points, so let two touchdowns beat you. He's come right back, quick out, play action pass, and a seam right down the middle.
On second down, Kyle Wright of Miami with that quick hitch. Jenkins inside the 5-yard line. It'll be first and goal. Well, we welcome those of you who watched Ohio State pull away from Iowa. Here we have a non-conference game. Miami of the ACC marching down after Colorado kicked a field goal to make it 16-3. Jenkins crashing inside the 5-yard line for the Canes gives them a first and goal. Kyle Wright on the day is 20 of 39, 254 yards, one touchdown to Sonorous Moss, and no interception. Tyrone Moss, no relation to Sonorous. And Sonorous, in case you're wondering, is Santana Moss's brother. And Santana had that huge day for Washington on Monday night. Tyrone Henderson, the junior safety, makes the stop, and it will be second down and goal with Jack Aruth, Gary Danielson. I'm Brent Musburger. Gary?
The Miami offense has not done well in the red zone today. They've been forced to kick field goals. They need to push this ball in, not only for this game, but for future games. If they want to win the ACC, they have to score.
Hill is the fullback. Fake the toss, and Wright, can he make it? Dives! Got it! Touchdown! Kyle Wright. Petty will come onto the field to attempt the extra point.
We saw this in the Florida State game. Kyle Wright is about a 4'6", 4'7" athlete. When he got around the corner against Florida State, he got it out there, and this time on the bootleg, he stretched it out just wide enough and almost got hit on the play by Brad Jones.
Extra point is good. 23-3. Miami leads it by 20. Temperature has been in the 90s. A muggy day and a tough afternoon for a team from the Rocky Mountain area to deal with the Canes down here in their environment. The Denver Broncos came down a few weeks back and lost their opener to the Miami Dolphins. In this heat and humidity down here, it is never, ever easy. Monroe, left-footed punter with the ball on the tee to kick it off. Colorado looking for its first touchdown in this game. Trails it by 20, 23-3. 8:44 remaining. It'll be fielded at the 6-yard line of Washington. And Washington's out to the 20-yard line. So we check the two conferences that are involved here. North Carolina still leading state in the fourth quarter. But BC and Clemson are tied. Clemson went 3 overtimes before losing to Miami last week. And the other 3 games will all start later. Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech coming up. Big 12 has a very limited weekend. Texas A&M moved its game up. Iowa State struggled and then came back against a game Army team to win it. Kansas State pitching a shutout right now, and Texas Tech will start a little bit later against Indiana State. And here is Colorado football, 8:39 to go. And here is Charles ridden down at the 25-yard line by Rocky McIntosh.
I'm sure Colorado will start to go no huddle here anytime because they're far enough behind that they have to get in and out of huddle, and this will be tough on them. You can see it. Joel Klatt will look over to the sideline and call the plays in a no huddle setup. Brent, don't you think the big story for Colorado's offense, no speed at wide receiver?
Absolutely.
I mean, the Canes defensive backs have not taken a step back the whole game.
And they've been able to just go one-on-one with them and use the safeties to help stop the run.
And those linebackers, I mean, McIntosh, Leon Williams, John Beeson, who's as fast as a safety or running back number 2. I mean, those guys just eat up those short routes. It's very tough to throw short against Miami.
Well, if you see a great Pontiac game-changing performance today, nominated at ESPN.com. Keyword now, Pontiac. Pontiac will contribute $5,000 to the Winning Schools Scholarship Fund. And a game-changing performance here, for example, might be Cyrus Moss's fine catch for a long touchdown.
I'm going to do a long-distance nomination. Drew Stanton.
Not bad.
Most valuable player. Yeah, and most valuable player in the Big Ten right now is Drew Stanton.
And shaken up at Columbus. He came in a little bit injured. He's 6'8", 280, one of the big fellows up front for Coach Barnett.
It's a tough game for Colorado because their schedule turns very tough for them in the future. They've got some tough football games ahead of them now.
Well, we go back a couple weeks ago. We saw Miami lose its opener on a Monday night in Tallahassee. It was a very close game, and had they been able to convert some field goals, they might have tied it, sent it to overtime, or who knows, even been able to win it. Then they went to Clemson, and they were forced to the brink before winning in a third overtime. And now they come for their home opener, their most efficient game, and that's a first down for Colorado on a diving play with Barnett. But Canes could have come in here 0-2, Gary.
Really could have. Watch on this play. 2 guys are going to be wide open as Miami blows this play. The tight end, the slot, and actually the running back. And this ball was thrown just a little early. You see Kelly Jennings right there had to make a choice between the running back and the wide receiver, and it was a foot away from a Clemson win.
Here's Klatt's ball, juggled, incomplete. It'll be second down. But then in the third overtime, it was Tyrone Moss, and 139 yards, 3 TDs. This, the game winner. Then, after that, it was Kenny Phillips, the freshman from Carroll City, right here in this area with the game-clinching interception, and they came in today 1-1, and they appear well on their way to being 2-1. They came into the game ranked 12th. Depending on what happens above them, they could move one or two spots with this performance. High snap. Klatt pulls it down, and the pass is broken up, intended for the running back, and jumping it on the outside was Cook. Still another one of the linebackers. Doesn't get a lot of playing time, but he looked good on that play.
Joel Klatt's got a bad foot. He's got no vertical jump, and this is the 3rd time the snap has been high. So he's got to jump in, and watch this. You want to play college football? You throw the ball against Miami, you get hit, you get torn, and you got no feet. You really can't stand up, so you just got to roll away from it.
3rd down and 10 yards for Klatt and the Colorado offense. Sprague with 5 catches, but for 38 yards has been his main receiver. And he'll fire to Williams, but that is short of the first down. Out of bounds at the 39, and with 7 minutes to go, down by 20 points. Barnett does not want to give him an easy one. He'll send Torp onto the field.
I think now you got to start also thinking, you know, it's not over, but you want to get your quarterback killed. You want to have the other team run up the score on you. You got a long season ahead of you.
Hester will go back deep. Torp has been winning this duel, and Hester has been showing more and more patience, which reflects the coaching of Don Solinger, the special teams coach.
Miami only had 10 players on the field.
Miami a little distracted. Thinking about South Beach already, lads. Good take a timeout. It's amazing the places that Jack Arute will take you when he comes down to South Beach. Let the good times roll here in South Florida, and Gary Barnett has changed his mind.
I think his team talked him into this. I think Joel Klatt said, come on, Coach, let's go down swinging.
So here it is, 4th down and 5. They're going to go for the first down. They're not going to punt it. Got him, no first down. Miami football, but hold on. There's a penalty flag.
Yep,
roughing the passer.
Yep.
That will move the chains. What a foolish time to have that happen.
When he got hit, I'm telling you right now, this one was, from the time he threw it, where he was vertical, when he hit the ground, he was horizontal.
Passer number 93 on the defense. That's a 15-yard penalty, first down.
So some of the youngsters are getting opportunities here, and Dwayne Hendricks
comes in, and watch this. He hit. Oh, he threw him down. He spun him around right there. See, but that was a little bit because Klatt can't stand up on his feet. Klatt just kind of collapses, but it was clearly after the throw.
That moves the ball to the 42-yard line with 6:51 to go.
You see Kenny Phillips come up on that play right there and stop that?
It's going to be a big-time safety.
You bet. But that's the game plan. They're jumping all crossing routes. They got to put a crosser and a post behind it.
In underneath. Picking up about 5 yards. Alvin Barnett, time permitting, of course. We'll have the Thrifty Carmel postgame report with John, Craig, and Aaron. Highlights and analysis of the games. A lot of things happening and a lot of things still to unfold on this day. USC and Oregon will go up on the West Coast.
Let me show you, Brent. They got to bring this guy this way and this guy deep behind him.
Well, here's Klatt, and it's incomplete. It'll be loaded down. Let's update your game plan here.
Well, what I thought Miami had to do in this football game was protect the quarterback. And look at that. 0 sacks. They put pressure on Klatt, and that's really changed the game because of his foot. And big plays. Interceptions, the long touchdown pass to Moss, and that is really the difference in the football game. Being able to protect the quarterback and the way Klatt has been able to be hit all day with his foot. Colorado had no way to get any big plays for them. Remember I said Colorado needed explosion plays? They haven't even come close to getting an explosion play.
4-down territory here. Short of the first down.
They're jumping every one of those.
Every route has been jumped. Dusty Sprague was jumped by Kenny Phillips, number 1.
And you got it. You know, you don't have time. I understand that. If you're Sean Watson, he's going to call me and say, Gary, I'd love to do that. I don't have time to throw deep. I understand that, but that's what you're going to get when you throw those crossing routes.
Well, the out-of-whack stat was 3rd downs, and they're only 4 of 15 after coming in nearly 50%. So that gives you an idea of how well the Miami defense is playing.
Yeah, Miami's defense is best in the ACC in this.
Clock running down toward the 5-minute mark. Here's a 4th down again. Can the Buffaloes keep it going? Did they get it off or not? It was very close, but there was still a penalty, and it could have been illegal motion down there.
Before the snap, false start, 75 on the offense. 5 yards, 4th down.
Well, we want to thank both our sports information directors, David Platty from the University of Colorado and Rick Korch from the University of Miami, for their help in setting this game up.
15 penalties for Colorado. You cannot beat Miami with 15 penalties.
Here's the 4th down. Need 8. Let's get to the 31-yard line. Klatt throws it downfield. Juggled, incomplete. Miami football with 5:11 to go. Kelly Jennings was the defensive back.
Well, Colorado is a 8-yard field goal away from being shut out in this football game. Great job coverage by Jennings. Gets up, breaks it up. He's leading the ACC in pass breaks up with 5. There's number 6. They haven't thrown much at him today.
And a new quarterback has checked in. Kirby Freeman for Miami, the youngster from Texas who backs up Kyle Wright. So they'll turn it over to the backups here. Kirby Freeman is a very good runner and a very talented young man. He's out of the Texas area. And they'll go with all the backups. Darren Thomas now off the bench for the first time. He gets first carry. There's a good look at Kirby. And he was coached by his daddy back in high school. And to give you an idea about what he runs, he was also a track star in high school.
This Colorado football team is a pretty good football team. They're going to do well in the Big 12 North, I think. I mean, Klatt has to stay healthy, I think, but they play good defense. Mike Hakowitz has done a good job with this defense. They were porous a year ago. They've improved.
Yeah, they won't be running into Miami's speed on defense throughout the Big 12 North. Thomas again, and the Canes go to work on that clock.
Pretty good display here by Miami. No turnovers in this football game. Not a fumble, not an interception.
They're down at 9 for Freeman. They've given him 3 of their top flight receivers. Put him back in the gun. And throw it short to Moore. And he will not get the first down. Monroe will come on to punt.
There you can see we haven't played a lot, and that's why Kirby Freeman is playing right now in case something happens. That ball was very late to Ryan Moore. Didn't have a chance to really let that play unfold. But if Wright got nicked, this is the guy that had the play, and you got to get him ready. Nice opportunity for Larry Coker to get his backup quarterback some time.
Three and a half minutes. Coming toward the bottom of the hour. 3:36 to go. Miami with a comfortable 20-point lead here. Colorado with 1 timeout left. And of course, this is the first game of our doubleheader. And I want to thank some folks while I've got a moment here. The executive producer of ABC Sports, Mike Pearl. Senior producer, Bob Toms. Coordinating producer of college football, Bob Goodrich. He produced our game today. Directed by Steve Bime. Technical director, Randy Hargrove. Associate producer, Will O'Toole. Associate directors, Brian Fay. Our production assistants, Dan Barr, Julie Norman. Production manager, Christy Hallis back here with us. And our technical manager, Mark Towey. Stage manager, Erica Conti. Computer stats, Craig Rothberg. Left-footed punt. Bounce, dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. Once you let it bounce, just let it roll dead. Our computer stats, Craig Rothberg. Booth stats, George Hill, of course, here with Brian Movelson, the spotter, and the scoreboard operator, Jason Polstein. So thanks to one and all for our game down here today. We've come to the final 3:27.
Well, what do you think that Notre Dame watch? Do you think Ty Willingham will come back and get a little revenge today?
Well, I think he would like to. I just don't know that much about their talent. You know, Jackson and Fouts, they won't let me
go out there. I played there before. It was a while ago when I played in college, but that's a tough place to play.
Yes, it is. It could be. And
of course, we faced Sonny Six Killer. You know, you can't beat Sonny
Six
Killer. So you can't beat Sonny Six Killer.
That's one of the great names. History of college football. Down the middle, diving catch at the 36-yard line, and there is Kloffenstein, the 6'6" senior, their leading receiver, and that's his first catch of this game. So this Miami defense kept him throttled until the closing 3 minutes and 21 seconds.
And you know, Miami loves their stats. They don't give up yards real easily, so that was a good pitch and catch.
And coming in for another first, and that's Dusty Sprague, the 6'4" sophomore wide, I think. Moving right down the field here.
Devin Hester wanted the interception on that one. He was laying back, and he thought he could bait the throw, and he tried to cut underneath it to get the pick and score, and Klatt fired it right by him before he could get there.
Colorado wants a touchdown right here.
Watch Devin Hester. He knows it's the short one. He kind of looks, and he goes, oh, gee, that ball went faster than I thought.
Let's see what Klatt can do with this. Ellis is his running back. Near midfield. And the receiver wasn't even looking. Patrick Williams didn't even take a look. And Klatt fired it over there.
Patrick, the score is 23-3. We're in a 2-minute offense. We usually throw. I don't think he said it quite like that, but I think that's the message.
Yeah, indeed. So these games are coming right up. We're approaching the bottom of the hour. Notre Dame, Washington, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech. As soon as we wrap this up, the Buffaloes are trying to score their first touchdown. They've got about 53 yards to go here.
I know you giggle sometimes when I said it, but the heat makes you not even want to concentrate after a while. Right now, that guy didn't even want to play football out there.
Second down and 10. On a slant. Complete. They cross midfield, and that'll bring a third down. Barnett, the receiver. Jennings, the defender. Miami needs to suck it up here, and there's an injured player down on the field. That's Kelly Jennings. He's been a stout member of that defensive backfield. When you talk about units, Gary, when you talk about units that we've seen this year, I would have to nominate the Miami secondary as one of the best in the country, if not the best. Those freshmen are developing.
They are, but I'm a little, they've already lost Maxey in this game. Now, if anything's wrong with Jennings, that is, and they've already lost Reddick.
True.
So,
Reddick, you're right.
Now you start to wonder how much depth is there. Greg Threet, a great football player, we got a shot of him. Nice job, Steve Bime, to make me look bad there while I was trying to say they didn't have much depth.
Yeah, well, we have to, it's just a cramp, we are told, so that's not serious. We have to say the Ohio State linebackers.
Yes, although I like Ohio State's secondary also. Yabodi out there, I think they're very good.
Do you think the safeties are as fast as these fellas?
Yeah, probably
we'll find out as the season
probably
unfolds.
A step slower. Well, if you do the linebackers they're a little step slower.
Third down and 6. Set the flip to the running back, and he's got the first and 10, and Ellis breaks free. Ellis out of bounds. Phillips pushes him out inside the 10-yard line. 2:35 to go, and Colorado with a chance to put a touchdown on the board. Would that be something here?
And you look at this football team, you really got to give it to Joel Klatt, don't you? The way he's playing.
Gutty guy.
And you win over a lot of teammates by doing that, playing that type of football when you can barely run.
That's a 38-yard play by Byron Ellis.
That's what they needed earlier in the game. Some type of a big play against this defense. They did it with a screen that time.
These kids would love to go home putting a touchdown on the board for that long flight back to Colorado. Lose it by 13. Right now they're down by 20. Klatt's back, shotgun. Now the tackle moved. It'll be first. And go back to the 15-yard line right now. That was Gary Moore.
Offense. 5 yards, first down.
Now remember, Miami has neither one of their starting corners in the football game, so there should be opportunities to pick on players and throw the football.
Problem is that's not strength on strength, is it?
No, it isn't.
Let's see, they've got Barnett has sent Hugh Charles back in as the running back here.
Let's see if they can get one of those tight ends on a little wiggle type, like out and up in the middle of the field.
Tight ends are number 45, Sipnewski, and number 89, Kloffenstein. Kloffenstein with 1 catch today. Still first down. Incomplete. Intended for Williams on the slant. Merriweather again. What a game Brandon Merriweather has had, number 19 defensively for the Canes.
Give this one, Brent, to Randy Shannon. Watch this. It looks like he's covering the guy right in front of him, but at the snap, he turns around and looks outside. Watch. He baits it like he's covering the slot, then he turns around and covers the wide guy and beats it. That's good coaching. You make the quarterback think you got the wide guy, and you put him right in position to make the play.
Barnett's out to the right. Williams to the left. The slot is Judd. Second down. Complete to the 10-yard line, but that will bring up third down. Nothing much doing after the catch by Barnett. He was well defended.
Another freshman, Levon Ponder, there, number 35, is in the football game now, getting an opportunity, and he jumped the crossing route. You think that was stressed this week?
Two downs for a touchdown from the 10-yard line, and there was movement again by the tackle, but the defensive player appeared to get into that neutral zone also. Let's let Mr. Bible sort this one out.
Before the snap, False start, 57. 5 yards, third down.
That's number 17 for over 100 yards. You would expect that stat to be on the Miami side. At least that's what Gary Barnett was hoping for, to be able to knock off Miami.
Now it's third down again from the Kane 15-yard line.
Only 3 penalties for this Miami football team today.
Joel Klatt back in the gun. End zone, incomplete.
Right idea.
He overthrew Kloffenstein.
Yep. He had the linebacker on him that time. Leon Williams, the middle linebacker on Kloffenstein. That was right where the ball should have gone.
Here comes Barnett's last shot at that end zone. Judge and Sprague are wide. Sprague's in motion. Fumble snap. Miami's got it. And the big fella's rumbling.
He laterals
Brown.
it. He laterals
it off to the linebacker. And Williams breaks free. Touchdown, Hurricanes. A penalty flag has been thrown, however. A penalty flag is thrown at the 15-yard line. Looked like a personal foul will be called.
Beeson is very upset. He blocked on the play late.
Another one comes down.
And
now we got another penalty
That's
flag.
going to be a celebration penalty. But what a heads-up play by Brown, knowing he couldn't make it all the way and finding the faster guy behind him. John Beeson very upset. He blocked the quarterback, Joel Klatt, on the play, and I think they might have called it unnecessary roughness.
This will be a personal foul on Beeson.
During the play, there was a personal foul on number 7 on the offense. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct coming from the bench to celebrate. That's going to be 15 yards on the live ball foul, 15 yards on the dead ball foul.
You can see it fumbled snap, right, Brent? Here's Leon Williams right in the middle there. He goes to get it, but Brown beats it to him. Now he knows I can't run this far. Anybody behind me? Yep. Hands it off, and you'll see downfield, cut back, nice cut back, and there's Beeson, number 2. Let's see if it is him. Oh, that's the one they called. I think he said number 7, but it actually was number 2.
No question.
It was Beeson, and I think that's a good block right there. Come on, you quarterbacks trying to chase him down? That's a good block. That's not unnecessary roughness, and Beeson is right. He's close enough. He's chasing him, and Klatt jumps up, and that's a bad call. That's all it is.
So the touchdown nullified. The ball comes back to the 42. And with a minute 30 to go here, Colorado has one timeout, and the fullback goes airborne that time, and that was James Bryant.
So somebody should tell John Beeson we got his back on that one.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, certainly didn't seem unnecessary.
No. I mean, if you're going to chase after the guy, you might get hit if you're the quarterback. Again, I'll give it to Joel Klatt. I mean, he has earned my respect in this football game. I'll give you that now.
Well, second down. Last minute ticking away. Miami's going to win this by 20.
That last touchdown didn't mean anything, did it, there for Colorado?
Today's Chevrolet players of the game are John Torp. We're going to give it to him. He kept the Buffaloes in this game. And defensively, Brandon Merriweather. Can't say enough about the job he did. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Yes, sir. We're a few unhappy folks when that ball was put down. Final 13 seconds. Miami will move to 2-1. And they'll set sail to the ACC. We're going to quickly get off the air and send you to the second game of our doubleheader. And that'll do it. 23-3, Miami. ABC Sports Online at ESPN.com. Search ABC Sports. Coming up now, second half of the doubleheader. Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech, Notre Dame against Washington. Once again, 23-3, Miami. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports Championship Television. So long, everybody.